Oh, good, the chat is working. Hello, Hopkinson. I almost want to change that to hope in sin. Or hop in sin. I was trying to get to the market today, but the street was all flooded. No, this is Miami. I was just telling you guys, watch out for Florida. That place is going to be underwater. And here we are, evacuating Miami now. Jimmy, welcome. Grace. It just goes on and on. It's just... Your ark is Jesus. You're already on the ark. You're looking out the window of the ark right now. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. There would be signs. All right. This is Miami, Florida. Mass evacuation in Miami. Flash flooding destroys Florida. World is shocked. Well, the world is shocked, but not here at this channel. We are just talking about all this moisture heading towards Florida day in and day out. And this is just the beginning of it. It's not even the full thing yet. So, all right, here we are over. Oh, you know what? Before we start this up, I'd like to thank you all for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. And this is no ordinary family, okay? This is a different style of family here, okay? You are truly precious. And you know what I mean. Okay, this image that we're looking at right here is very complicated, okay? It doesn't look like much at first, okay? But we're looking for our natural cone-shaped flow asymmetry patterns, right? Okay, so before it gets too lost, I want you to see how this is stretching out. Here's our object right there. Do you see all the little moons that are around it? Can you, if I move that here, let's try something real quick. I want to get right, but not too deep. I think that maybe one dimension back, right about there, kind of captures it. Now, our round spheroid right there, right there, okay? And you can see all the little moons and all the little satellites that are accompanying it. They're either satellites or, well, could be a planet with a bunch of ships or something, who knows? But it's kind of hard to see, but it's kind of blatantly obvious too for the trained eye. And look how the instrument's reacting to each little moon, okay? That's quite the display we have there in that one frame. Okay, so I almost made that our thumbnail. Maybe I'll go back and change it, but so I want to keep it right there. Okay, so check this out. This is June 12th, 2024. Okay, this is the opening frame at 0 hours. Okay, so the very opening frame of June 12th, and we got our big object in here hiding in there with all these little spots, all these little satellites around it. And over on this side, you can kind of see the dark area over here that would correlate with this, and that's where the missing light is. How come there's this big CME coming out, yet there's not a bunch of light in that area? How come it's really dark in that area? Pretty interesting how this works, huh? This thing's absorbing light and it leaves a dark patch. A lot of these objects leave a dark patch, and everybody overlooks that. They just looking at the light. They don't see that this is a three-dimensional structure right here, okay? Space is three-dimensional, and these things are just all over, right around this bigger central object, okay? Most of my people here understand, and they can see it quite well. Now, let's march through this carefully. Boom. It's exiting the frame. All right, so now we're kind of going to lose sight of it, but we still have our teardropped cone effect. There's a trailing satellite, moon, whatever you want to call it, something down here as well. Well, somebody ran out soda. Let me get that one in case it. Oh, dang it. I only had a sip left in it anyway. Anyways, forgive me there. Technical difficulties. All right. As you can see, some of these trailing moons here, as this thing exits the frame, there's still some trailing moons and stuff behind it, that orbit around it at a further distance away from it, possibly. Okay, you can see some of these shadowy ones sneaking through up here, these ones. There's lots of something out there flying around. All right, and then there is most of your day. We had a little skip right here from 14. So something happened from 14 to 20 that we don't see, but here's the tail end of it. And you can make out something. Okay, a big teardrop effect with a little object possibly right here or right there. Yeah, because that's our next frame at 2012. So we lost like 5 hours there. So there's a whole event that got cut out there. But that's okay. That's okay. Because what they don't see or what they don't know is just sitting right there. And what a gem that image is right there. This one, at least on this side. And you can even see it's, splaying and going around the spheroid structure. You can see our conduit of plasma right here, kind of going straight at it. Boom. And then other two different conduits stretching and bending and going around our object right there. All right, so there's that. Let's get. Oh, wait. You said stereo A? Okay. We're going to go back to stereo A here. Now, it doesn't have as many frames. It only takes 1 per hour, but where was the one? I think it's this one right here. You can see our plasma reaching out. See our dark spheroid, our dark patch right here. See the plasma reaching out to it. You can see some of these little moons around it. You can see the flow over on this side, just barely. And then there's other stuff going on over here. But look, right in there. See, it doesn't look like there's much going on right here. But you see this giant vent of plasma, and then it just kind of stops. It's hitting this round spherical object right here. There's a conduit of plasma that's just touching the surface. So if you tilt your head to the left, to your left shoulder, about 45 degrees, you can see it a little bit better right in there. You can even make out the little moon here, this little darker circle right there in front of a darker, bigger circle right there. And then there's something going on right here. You can see this teardrop effect back at here coming off of this. So there's a lot going on in there. Just because you see one doesn't mean there's something else, not slipping through there. These things are basically invisible unless silhouetted by plasma. Okay, it's dark matter. It's it absorbs light. It doesn't reflect light. Oh, wish we had more frames off this. This is an old satellite, but I sure enjoyed this satellite a long time ago when it was back behind the sun. But look at this shaft right here coming off and just hitting this black sphere and being absorbed. It doesn't continue past it. It just kind of disappears into this big black area that happens to be spherical or round in structure. To the trained eye, it's blatantly obvious. And you can see this stretch and bending over here in the flow. Let me even kind of get over to that flow just a tad. What we're going to do? We're going to darken that up, baby. There we go. Now you can see the spread out flow going around our black spherical object right in there. All right, let's slide it over since we're zoomed in here and see what we can catch on this side. Oh, yeah, darkening it up a little bit helped. Ooh, there's some weird looking face. Tilt your head to the left. Right there. Okay, don't look too long. All right, if you want to see more, come over here and check it out. You guys should be used to using this thing a little bit by now. And I know a lot of you guys are over at Wages, and he shows you how to use these instruments. Part of my story is when all this stuff started happening to me. I was monitoring space weather, but I never looked at the satellites or anything like that until God showed me the one sign. And it was obviously taken from Stereo A because it said this on the top. And I'm like, oh, I have to find what this stereo head thing is. And then it's a satellite. And I found out I watched Wages World. He showed you how to use the instrument over at ISWA. And I used that to go back through their archives to find the event that I was shown. And it was very similar to this right here. Very, very similar to this event. And I can show you that later on in our spiritual report. Okay, but there's two good shots from Stereo A that really kind of give it away. All right. Now let's come on over here. If you look at our GOES X-ray flux, it does not reflect the activity that we saw going on the sun today. We have this one little spike right here at the end, but that's at the end going into the next day where it gets really quiet. But all that activity we saw registered as this on our GOES X-ray flux. A lot of the activity is probably on the back side and is not registering on some of our instruments, and the ones that it are detecting aren't as strong readings. So they're weaker readings. Let me switch out this empty for a full soda here. Sorry, my medication doesn't really conducive with Trying to keep your mouth moist. All right, now I need to back out of this. Right about one more. Thank you, Lord. Right there. Okay, so there's your GOES X-ray for the day. We had this little event right here at the end, and we can go take a peek here tomorrow's, but it's not really all that interesting. There's not much to see. I already kind of looked at it. It appears to be another Halo event, but it's probably heading away from us. Hours or so. Meanwhile, our solar flux indice is resting at 165, hasn't kind of gone up or down much. Meanwhile, our sunspot number has jumped by 61. It's up to 145 sunspots right now. Okay, and that's up from 61. The area, we're not too worried about that right now. That'll probably come into play here a little later. As far as our geomagnetic forecast, they're calling for 3 days of clear, which is good. We don't have any CMEs coming or whatever that way, but we're still enjoying this D layer absorption event, our proton event. Okay, and we'll get over to the D layer in a minute. Meanwhile, Explorer potential 10, M40s. Look at all the sunspots. We were at 5 yesterday, and now all of a sudden there's like another 5 more. So we got a whole new row of sunspots. Remember, it just jumped by 61 sunspots. So there's a bunch more right on our front side. There's probably a bunch more on the back or whatever. Okay, so let's take a peek at our KP index. We did take this little hit right here. It wasn't much. It was only a KP4. Excuse me. What are you doing? Go back to that. A KP4, and it's dropped, pretty good, pretty dramatically, and we've been under 2 for quite a while. So very, very quiet. That's the way I like it. We don't need to be taking on a bunch of energy and absorbing a bunch of energy right now. Not until the Earth has like really done its number on relieving the pressure and stuff. So, hello, Tina P. Welcome, sweetie. All right, let's get back into it. So you can see our auroras are really weak. We're at KP1, so that's pretty weak right now. And I'll back out of this real quick, and we'll just pop open your auroras, and you can see how weak this is. Actually, not doing it justice. It's very, very weak compared to my camera. It almost picks up too much color. But let's go right there. Give me a second. I shouldn't have messed with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. Going back now. So, we have our tracker. We'll go to the tracker here in a minute. Let's read this article real quick. A large solar eruption took place beyond the west limb beginning around 2230. An energetic full halo coronal mass ejection, CME, was observed by LASCO C3 shortly thereafter and is directed away from Earth. Okay, good, because I saw another halo and I was hoping it was heading away. The source of this latest event was likely good old 97 X64. Other than the brief proton enhancement near the minor S1 storm threshold, no other impacts are expected. Okay. So look, our KP's been really low for a while, and yet we're still having this proton storm from that last big old explosion. The explosion headed one way, but the object that induced it carried its plasma and energy still our way, I think is what's happening. Because I've never seen a far side explosion going away from us actually rain a proton storm on us. And I still have yet to see any protons flying around in said storm. So let's pop this open and see what's going on for real here. And eruption beyond the west limb. Yeah, see, all that's going away. Where's the proton storm? Okay, here. I want to see this real quick. Right here. Usually there's a bunch of protons raining down on the camera, all the little sparklies, right? And that's what creates our KP index, yet there's no, this is a far side eruption erupting away. It's just I've never seen one. I don't know. How many have you seen? Let me ask my audience this question. How many far side eruptions have you seen affect our proton, our D layer absorption region? Maybe you haven't, but some of you are not very, not new to this game. You've been around for a minute. That's kind of strange. And some of their explanations aren't kind of diving here. Now, I want this one nice and big, please, Lord. Thank you. Okay, I want you to take a minute and look at this. These are the readings, okay? It's readings that are represented on a graph, the spiral graph, okay? At our IMF line, this is our magnetic field line right here. This black and white IMF line that connects the Earth to the little quadrant of the sun right there. This does not come off that quadrant. It goes away. Okay. Sometimes you'll see a little jump in this line. You see how these all react? Do you see the magnetic reaction in these IMF lines? If it intersects with ours, you'll see just a little hiccup. Look at these other ones. They have a little hiccup right next to them. That one did. Okay. It's just odd that we're having this long duration proton event without I don't see any protons raining down on us. Okay. Makes me wonder if the object here, let me where's a small ball, Lord? Help me find a small ball in this room real quick. What will be a good representation of the Earth? I wasn't planning on doing this, but, well, I guess we'll use maybe something like this. Okay. No, it's not big enough, really, but if this is going to affect our IMF line, right? You would see a little jump, you'd see a little fluctuation in it, and we would have, your proton storm. Now, I don't really have a good ball. I want to use maybe the tip of this thing, the little knob here. There we go. So as the big object approaches the sun fires off as it goes by. All right, so it's approaching the sun, bing, but then continues this way. It's still kind of traveling by us, and the energy, the plasma, the radiation it's absorbed as it goes by us could be it could be a reason for our proton storm, okay? Eventually, when these objects do pass close enough or far enough out, they're coming, at an angle like this, and then, they travel off. So until they get really close and interact, that's when we'll see Earth effects that are different from the readings, okay? We've seen a lot of blasts head this direction and do nothing. We've seen a lot of blasts head this direction and do nothing. Even though they clip our IMF line, it doesn't really do much. It just clips our IMF line. It's not until we have a direct hit of a CME, a good X flare coming straight at us, that we get these intense proton storms in the D layer. Okay? Now, so I hope you see what direction that's heading, and it's good. I don't want it affecting us. The fact that something is affecting us, though, okay, even though they're trying to say there's nothing affecting us, it's just a proton storm. It's from the backside reaction of that one. Let me just pull this one up here real quick. I want to see what No is showing here. They're not even showing the blast. Yeah, never mind. All right, backing out of that. Now let's finish up here this little article. We started the top part right up here. Let's finish this bottom part. As expected, the edge of a CME passed Earth on Monday, but the impact was fairly weak and did not generate the geomagnetic storm. Remember, we had a strong magnetic field that day. We did get sideswiped, but we've had sideswipes give us a G2. All right, that's when our field was weak. So, thankfully, a little sideswipe, but we had a strong field that day, and it didn't really create a geomagnetic storm. There was an impact to KP4 for a technical storm. Okay. That was back on the 10th. We had the X1.5 that's already off the map. Now, I want to come over to D-layer region real quick here. Take a peek-a-rooski at this. You guys digging this? This is different than like an old college class or something where you got a boring old professor that you throw paper airplanes and spit wads at. And why is this D-layer not? There we go. All right, let's load it up, shall we? Okay. As you can see, it's intense. It's in red, okay? It's not in blue and green, because it was a short-lived little, far side eruption that only grazed our IMF line. This is a long-duration event. It's been going on since yesterday and is continuing with a very strong impact in the northern polar region, okay? Still going. See, it's intense right here. You know what this is starting to look like? You see this red glow right here? You see how it's following the sun? See how this intensifies with the sun? This isn't a proton event, you guys. Yeah. Let's look at this part, this earlier stuff. Watch this. If this reacts with the sun, this part right here, this is looking like this might be a new magnetic connection to the sun, more a northern pole type connection or something that we're having, because this is reacting with the intensity. If there was a small little burp on the sun, this would react, right? So it's reacting in accordance with what's happening on the sun. It's not the proton storm, green and then red and diminishing despite what the sun is doing. The sun's just shining, right? It's just odd. These readings just, they don't add up, kind of, but they are showing that we are, look, having one of these events. Long duration proton event. This almost looks like it's more from the sun and not protons. Look at this. Watch that in accordance. Yeah, this one and then this one. Watch all this move together in accordance with the sun, how it affects our proton storm. Interesting. I mean, that would be, a true reading if it's a, proton storms would do this too as well. It's just kind of, I don't know, looks a little iffy to me. We'll just keep kind of going with the story here. Let's get back over to here now. So, polar cap absorption event, these PCAP or PCAP events. All right. For the second day in a row, I repeat, how many days in a row? For the second day in a row, protons from the sun are raining down on Earth. 2 days now, protons from the sun have been raining down on Earth. This is causing a shortwave radio blackout inside the Arctic Circle, also known as the polar cap absorption event. Keyword absorption. Okay. The protons are being funneled towards the Arctic by Earth's magnetic field. Their ionizing effect attenuates shortwave transmissions and all frequencies below 30 megahertz. The event should last, listen closely, this event should last for another 24 to 48 hours. Well, let's go back. We're bright red. I could see it lasting 48 more hours, at least 24, right? So let's go back. Already second day in a row, so we've had 48 hours plus another 48 hours makes 4 days. We're not there yet, but if it does go past 24 to another 48 hours, that'll make a 4-day long polar cap absorption event from a far side eruption. I'll let you be the judge on that one, okay? Noctilucent clouds, they're also getting excited because of this ionization that's happening, okay? These are clouds up at the Arctic. They're most noctilucent clouds. Come over and read this because it's important that you guys read this. These NLCs are spilling out of the Arctic to lower latitudes. All right, a lot of people thought they were auroras and stuff. They're actually, clouds that are up high, ice crystals up high that are getting ionized and starting to glow. Pretty cool, huh? Let's come on over to the Schumann. Okay, we had this little event yesterday. Okay, you can see two abrupt venting issues that, happened during this event. We had a little small grind there. It's a little weak, come back to life. So that's good. We're cruising along pretty good. Little bump here, little bump there, but Earth's handling it pretty good. That indication of pressure is kind of leveled off a little bit. It's not so much that we're grinding. Okay. Moving on. Let's go on over to the null school. Oh, we're already on SO2. No, we don't want to do SO2 yet. Let's get over here first and do our polar jet streams, or upper jet. Okay, so here's your upper jet stream right now, coming off the wheels here, getting pushed right across the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Plains, Great Lakes region. We got this little pull away right here, pulling stuff down. Totally pulling stuff way down into here, getting this cold air to drop down into hot, moist air. Okay, warm, moist air, cold air dropping down. So we'll see what happens here as we transition down through the layers. That's your upper jet. Watch your correlation with your lower jet. Okay, big old storm out here grinding, pushing this system on shore now. It's no longer taking a turn and going down the coast. Well, this lower jet is pushing through at least. Let's see what it's doing to the weather down below here. Now, we still got this wall effect, weird thing. But you see, we have a big vortex of rotation out here, followed by a second one, okay? When these objects pass by, the big one with, the stronger small one, we tend to get two good vortexes somewhere on the planet. Sometimes when it's going by one way, we get a couple of hurricanes. Other times, it'll come up as typhoons that come off this region. Here we go with these two vortexes. If these are going to be our correlating vortexes with our passing objects, watch out for these said storms, okay? And look up here. This one's still got its tail draping back down across the Great Lakes region and hooking up with the warm, moist air off the Gulf. See what I'm saying? That's a dangerous mix right there. So our severe weather is just going to continue. Meanwhile, everything from this part of Florida down, I would probably get out of there. Okay, consider evacuating, getting, leaving the area for a while if you haven't already, because a series of storms are going to go through that area and maybe up through here. Our patterns have been changing so much lately; it's hard to keep up with. So, but as you can see, there's kind of our storm setup, and here's the future. These next two storms will be the next ones to march in across this region. The upper jet, or the lower jet, my bad, is going to take them where? Oh, yeah, right through there. So we'll have to watch this closely. Everybody in Canada, get ready to be the tornado alley, possibly be the new tornado alley, because cold air is up here. You don't get tornadoes when it's just all too muggy and moist and hot. There has to be some kind of cold air influence in there too. So cold air is up in Canada. You might see severe thunderstorms and tornadic activity shifting from this region maybe up a little further up into Canada over these hotter months coming up. Understand? Hotter months coming up, colder air up north. So the weather's going to be pushing north to find that convectivity there. Excuse me. Where are we going next, Lord? Yeah, we were there. Oh, I just kind of want to take a quick little tour around the planet, see what else is going on there. Was that a big old smiley face right there? Okay. God's got a sense of humor. Small little vortexes over here. I'm looking for like any kind of significant. Nope. Ooh, what's here? Something we need to address here pretty soon. Okay, you see this weather pattern set up where it's taking cold air out of the Arctic region, bringing it down here, and then bringing it up and addressing Europe. You see these comma-shaped storms right here. They're addressing this whole region right here. Okay. When we get over to our water anomaly, I'm going to show you something here. Okay, so there's enough of the weather. I need to get over and do our sand really quick. I know it's the same old sand report, but I'm going to keep doing it because nobody else. It's just like it's a major story that has just lost traction. Seems like everything has lost traction that's not political. The only thing that seems to matter is all politics, 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 politics. Is just people have lost their minds with politics. Let me take off these winds real quick. Meanwhile, we have this huge plume. Look at this big old arced sandstorm, this big wall right here pushing sand all the way across the Atlantic. It's getting caught up in the winds, curling back out this way. Luckily, we haven't seen a bunch of it come into the Gulf. We could possibly see the sand diminishing some of the effects of the hurricanes, but with our water temperatures, I don't think it's going to matter. I pray that this continue. It's going to sound weird, but I pray that this continues and does some kind of disruption to our hurricane season this year. Okay, because this hurricane season is not looking very good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. It's very scary looking. Okay. There's your sand. I want to do it in 10 nano or 10 micron. All right. In red, it shows up a lot better. You can see these are all particulates. all over the place, which water likes to adhere to and makes raindrops. So, where do you think you're going to see lots of rain? Places that got lots of this particulates in there. Look at these storms, how they pick up this sand. These bigger particulates get caught up in the storm. They're getting sucked off of the off this side of Asia, getting pulled out into the Pacific there. All right, so I want to go back now. Let's change it to, whoops. We did the particulates. I want to do the SO2. Okay. Holding here. Get America all dialed in here. As you can see, America, the country divided, bleeding out on this side. Not many, flooding patches blocking stuff up. But on this side, it's all patchy, kind of clearing out up there. Country divided. There goes the other soda. All right, cool. No, that was the other empty one. I live in a very cramped, space, let's just say. All right, back to where it was. So yeah, you can see kind of whoop this time. Does a little whoop-de-doo there. A little clear area out in here. So a little change in our pattern, but still some dark purple up in this area, indicating, there's pressure still. And all these are perforations in the crust that are allowing this gas to escape. And these gases are very hot, and they can also cause fires. And what we're going to have to deal with this year, I'm not really sure. Did I get it clicked on? Yep, fires, bio, good. Right now, there's none. Okay, usually there's a couple of correlating fires in these dark purple areas, because this hot gas starts fires from underground. Okay, don't be surprised when you see trees burning from the inside out. It's because the fire got started down at the root structure and smoldered up through. If you ever looked at the bottom of the root structure, it's like a cone shape, and it would shove all the heat up the middle of the trunk of the tree. Look how this storm is catching all this gas too. Okay, let's look at South America. It's venting pretty well. We got a lot of this gas coming out. These are all individual sites going down. We'll take a look at our fulcrum point. Still pretty prominent. This one pretty prominent too. So we still have a fair amount of pressure going on, and gas being released. Look, as we go down the side here, it's still not dark black purple, but it's still decent burgundy. So the coastline here is relieving pressure like a one big long relief valve right here, and there's a plate boundary that runs through here, and that's where some of the biggest quakes ever come off of this plate boundary. And we're not seeing big quakes because pressure is being relieved via the gas and some of the volcanic activity in the region as well. Now I want to come on over here to China, adjust for their time. I didn't take the fires off because they're not. Oh, check this out. We can also check our auroras here too. Okay, see how it's really faint. All right, back to where we were though. So chemicals, that's what we can go. Here we go. I'll take off those winds. Okay, so back to where we were. Here's China. They're still got a lot of pressure, some dark areas. You can see each of these regions has their own little issues going on. Okay. Here we are, southern tip of Malaysia, a couple of dark spots right here. This one's been there for a long time. And then here's the island of Sumatra turning into, like the Java. It's just all gas coming out of almost the whole entire island. The whole island. There's just very little pockets here, there. where it's not. So Sumatra filling in with this SO2. And if you look at Malaysia, there's only a couple of spots that aren't emitting SO2. Okay. Another place we'd like to look at here is Taiwan. Okay, this is one of our relief valves. Okay, it vents a lot of this pressure. We have a fulcrum point here on the plate boundary that does it via earthquakes, and also it's venting its own SO2 emissions, relieving pressure in that region. Otherwise, most of the pressure is being relieved in China by this SO2 coming out of the ground. And let me just kind of tell you something. SO2 is poisonous. Not good for the brain. So they're probably not thinking too well over there either. I mean, they've only been breathing intense amounts of SO2 for how long now? So India's got their issues. Europe, little individual sites here and there, little perforations in the crust. So you can see different areas have their different thickness of crust, different perforation type pattern, mountain ranges and stuff like that. Swamps are loose. They let a lot of methane and other gases pass through them because they're loose earth. Okay, so let's skip now. What are you doing? CO2? Why are you doing CO2? Okay, I get it. Okay, so he got me over here at CO2 because I want to explain something to you guys. Just a quick little chemistry update, let you know how things really work. CO2 is the gas that's emitted by plants, right? Or it's emitted by us, but the plants eat it. It's plant food. CO2 is ingested by plants, and the plants produce oxygen in which we breathe. Now, if we don't have CO2, well, there's no plants producing oxygen. So if you start cutting out the CO2, you're going to cut out all your plants and choke yourself to death. Duh. But apparently our politicians never took a chemistry or paid attention in high school, typical chemistry class. So we're over here at CO2. Now, what I'm trying to do here is show you this color scheme. Brown being low concentrations, blue being high concentrations. Okay, so we're going to kind of go in here. Let's see, we get them. Those are 3-hour increments, and that's 1 day. We get them in their daytime. Okay, so there's our latest data. All right, we'll just stick with our latest data right there. Okay, good. So the blue regions are where a lot of CO2 comes out of. Okay, so here we are at China, and look who produces a lot of CO2. And if they're going to tax you on CO2, well, I say we tax away, tax China, tax them. You can see a lot of it comes out of this region. Oh, now the big old bad USSA, just this one little tiny little plume over here. Okay, so they're making us pay CO2 taxes or whatever for CO2 that we don't emit. It's the other countries. We have all our emissions under control. And besides, CO2 isn't poisonous, it's plant food. Everybody wake up. Now, do you see what's going on here in the rainforest? Why is it so brown? Well, there's not much CO2 there. Wonder why? Because all the plants are absorbing it, maybe? Do you think maybe there's less CO2 in this region because of all the plants absorbing it? Okay, let's take a look at some other jungle type areas. Well, what do you know? Look, they're all dark brown too because all the jungle, all the foliage is absorbing the CO2. Huh, imagine that. Well, look at these islands over here. Sumatra, very dense jungle region. Look how low the CO2 levels are there. Dang plants keep just eating up all that CO2. See what I'm saying? Quit letting these politicians lie to you. Look at this. Big old patch of, missing CO2. There's a lot of forested region in here. It eats up that CO2, it absorbs it and pumps out what? What does it pump out? I mean, we really, really, really need this one compound to breathe. It's called oxygen. It's part of the CO. O is 2 oxygen atoms per molecule. It's an important gas. We can't be getting rid of it. If you do that, you're going to suffocate yourselves and you're going to kill off all the plants at the same time. Tell these politicians to go stick their head up there, pull their head out of there because it's obviously where it is. All right, so sorry, had to do that. I guess I didn't even know that was coming. All right, back to where are we going now, Lord? Okay, we can go there now. Where's our one day? Okay, so this was 1 day ago. Is our latest data. This is looking much better. That was one big, huge yellow bar, and it has reduced a lot. It's still a lot of hot water, okay? The runaway train effect that we were seeing there was looking very dire, okay? The fact that it has reduced a little bit is very a welcoming thing. It's an indication that it can reduce. It's not a runaway train. It can reduce, and we've seen that. We had this little perforation, new little spot up here, kind of a new little blob growing here that's venting some of that pressure and keeping this region right here. I mean, mind you, it's still yellow, but excuse me, sleep deprivation's a bitch. But we keep moving on. Okay, very intense hot water right here. Obviously, some kind of vent on the ocean floor, spewing hot water. Add a bunch of radioactive water, 300,000 gallons of hot, like as in particle radioactive hot water coming out of Fukushima. Doesn't help this situation probably either. So now, as we look out here, this is Tamumasi. Well, let me pull back a little bit. It's right there. So just off to the side of Tamumasa, we still have a lot of pressure being vented, which is good. Oh man, we really need a latitude on that one, I believe. Show me again, Lord. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, so yeah, right about in here is Tamumasi, the biggest volcano on the face of the planet. And it looks like a lot of this pressure is off to the side of it. It looks like it's venting, venting some of it on the flanks of it, causing, the patch to shove more this direction instead of being right out here at the volcano itself. So that's good too. The reduction in this, the shifting of this kind of over that way a little bit. Two eyes, the nose, horns. Weird. Anyway, what I want to do here, and last time we were doing this, it was a grim type thing. Now it's going to be more good news than a grim thing. Now we're watching this region right here, this patch right here that was this big yellow bar just about a week ago. In fact, here we are in the calendar. June 10th. All right, this is our latest data. So we'll go back a week from our latest data. Okay, watch the difference from last week. All right, that was very concerning. Now, it was just accelerating week after week, growing bigger, stronger, bigger, stronger, bigger, stronger. Remember, I did the 1 week, 2 week jump, and we just saw it blossom so much, so fast in just a short time frame. Now we're looking at the course of a week, an actual diminish. Now watch when I hit OK. This is our current now. So, but we got another problem here. This side. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with this region. I'm going to try to position it just about right, if it'll let me. All right, that's good enough, I guess, because I want to get the calendar. All right, good. We can still see this region right here. Now, mind you, this is the middle of the Atlantic now, between Africa and the Caribbean. This is our zone where our hurricanes are going to start forming this year. All right, so let's take you back a week. See, it was less. Not by much, but it was less. So go back to today. But then let's go back more than a week. Let's go back a month. All right. So June 6th, let's go to May 6th, which, guys, wasn't very long ago. Okay. Time is flying so fast now. May 6th was not that long ago, or May 10th was not that long ago. Now watch the difference in a month. All right. It was much colder. This region had a lot more cold water. This region right here didn't have a bunch of yellow in it yet, okay? Now, the course of a month, you don't mind, we're moving into our hotter months, but you can see we're starting to get this big yellow bar. The yellow bar that we had over here is now starting to kind of get one over here now. Now, this is the point where we have to start addressing something else now. Oh, how do I tell them this, Lord? Blunt and to the point. All right. We have our mid-Atlantic ridge that runs down through here, okay? They're getting nickel and cesium, which is radioactive. Okay, those are elements that exist way down deep in the core. We're getting nickel. That's coming up from the core shell boundary around that area, and it's coming up through the big crack here. Let me just pull up the earthquake map real quick as a reference. This is the seam that runs through the whole earth. This is the earth, the seam of the earth. It runs from pole to pole. All right. And everything spreads outward from this seam, going this way and going that way. Stuff bubbles up from the middle and is creating a mountain range down on the ocean floor here. All right. This thing is a zipper. Look, it's one big zipper. And guess what's right in the middle of the zipper? A big, well, fault area that has perforation, several perforations, and, well, now it has a big fissure that spews lava fountains thousands of feet into the air. And that's what could happen all along this when it unzips. That region right there, in between here, is where we have that yellow bar. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that. You see right up in here is this area, because we have a lot of stuff coming up out of the area there. Okay, this hot water is going to bring hurricanes into this direction, right? what I had set up was, stay right there, give me the 850 wind pattern at ocean surface temp. Oh, that's current. I want wind. Yeah, and that was it at 850. Think. Oh dear. Yeah. Yep. Okay, good. So it's working good. That's what I was hoping. So get back to this. Sorry, I want to get the right readings because I'm trying to show you weather patterns are going to take stuff off of here, bring it up. We'll have hurricanes along the coast. Some will go into the Gulf and go up into the midsections and, the southern part of the country right through there, okay? Meanwhile, we have also weather that comes at Europe and England. Remember, I was showing you that comma-shaped storm that was lashing England and Ireland and the UK area. These guys are going to get backlash from this hot water flowing up into more hot water. They're about to be in hot water weather-wise. Everybody in Europe, heads up. Everybody on any Atlantic coast in the northern hemisphere, I would say from the equator on up. See where these wind patterns are? Anything in this whole area, I would be prepared for gnarly weather on your coastlines. Well, going inland as well. I mean, how would we say a reverse hurricane hitting, well, Ireland, Scotland, Norway? You see this hot plume right here? You see this flow? It could come into this region and just we're going to monitor this side closely now, okay? The other region, luckily we get to all breathe a little sigh of relief here, but our concern has really shifted now. And what's really kind of going to be hard to talk about is these hot plumes right here. Let me get this wind off there now. We're done with that. We're talking colors. I want you guys to wrap your head around a volcano maybe going off on Long Island, or out here on the Massachusetts Cape. That whole thing maybe going off. I don't know what to tell you guys, but this region's getting very, very active. You see this hot plume? There's not many places on the planet that have white, but there's white right there. And there's a little touch of white, and this one's starting to form in here. And that's the higher end, the max end, okay? Everybody on the East Coast, take heed, take warning. Everybody thinks it's always the West Coast that, you're getting activity over here as well. Now, this region, we got warm water that moves in the area and then gets stuck there and recycles around. So it might not be like underwater vents right here. This could just be our puddling of warm water collecting in this reservoir here, getting stuck in this circular, cyclical fashion and staying warm. Just like in these bays up here, water doesn't circulate around as much as it does out in open ocean, so you get warmer pockets, right? Well, here we are, June 13th, and we got yellow, out here. It's going to be a long summer. It's going to be a very stormy, wet, lot of precipitation, a lot of flooding summer. If you live in lowlands and you live along coastlines, you live in areas that are prone to flood. Oh, say it again, Lord. Yeah, inundation map. Yep, inundation map. Let me write it down real quick. Oh, I have so many tangents in my head. It's inundation map. Where's the pencil thing here? We'll pull that up here because that's going to become a priority here soon. Is the inundation map? And I would pull it up right now, but my computer will stop the show sometimes. So let's just continue on right here. We'll get into the inundation map. When sea levels rise, it's going to creep up, little coves and up river valleys and stuff. So it's time, maybe to start backing away from the coast. That is up to you. Okay. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, oh, sell your $1 million house and blee, whatever, quit your job and get out of your city job on the coast. I'm just showing you what's going on. Okay. You're all mature adults here. But my suggestion with kind of heat building up like this and a very violent hurricane season coming up. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Lord help me, please. Okay. A very violent hurricane season coming up. I would maybe want to get out of that region. Okay. It's time to maybe think about regions. Along the border probably wouldn't be a good idea. Think about places that kind of, would be a good idea, and other places that not such a good idea. I'll let you kind of do your thing there too. It doesn't really matter the place as long as you're under the Lord's wing. But you can avoid some parts of it. Okay. Cold water around Taiwan real quick. Bingo. It's our relief valve. There's not a big old yellow or white plume right there. Also here at Java, our other relief valve in this area too has a lot of volcanoes, so a lot of relief in that area. Not hot water being, not a lot of hot water building up. Okay. Here we have a little hot plume off of Malaysia right there. Of course, we have the whole island of Sumatra now emitting gas. Okay, so a couple other little hot pockets out here. This whole thing down here, we'll put the currents in there real quick because that's always fun. Watch these currents change. Hello. All right. This is a event that's pushing out hot water, and hot water will rise. The cold water wants to fall. Well, they create a current. When one's going one way, one's going the other, they create currents and boundaries. You see these boundaries, these darker, fine black line right here, defined boundaries between hot and cold. And hot water is flowing into cold and turning cold. Coming out, flowing from cold into hot, into cold, into hot, into cold, back to hot, back to cold. So you're either hot or you're cold, because if you're lukewarm, I'll spit you out. And then we have this region here that's creating its own vortex here. This is a pretty intense region off the coast of Africa. See this little heat plume right here creating its own little vortex. And same was happening over here at Japan. Whoa, slow down, cowboy. Right there had its own pretty violent vortex, very strong going on right there, because that hot water is rising and other water that's not as hot is rushing in to replace it and then getting heated and rising as well. So it creates this rising column of hot water and a vortex. Don Burge is in Alaska. Yeah, that might be a good place. Just beware the animals. They will attack eventually. What? Yep. Go read it in the Bible. So be careful what kind of animals you surround yourself with, especially human animals. Okay, you probably stand better chances around grizzly bears than you would in a city full of humans. So good choice on Alaska. Lots of fish and live off the land. But we might have an event that does something like this. Okay, so our Earth doesn't sit perfectly like this. Our equator isn't at a perfectly. We sit kind of at a. Well, can I get this planet to do it here? At an angle a little bit. All right. So I can't get the right degrees on it, but this thing's. Anyways, so we sit at an angle where the sun's facing the northern hemisphere more than the southern hemisphere. We are going into summer, they're going into their winter down below, right? So the equator is dropping lower like this. The sun, if we're the sun, we're shining directly on the northern hemisphere, right? So we're in summer like this, and the planet's tilted like this. We could have, one of these objects comes by and latches on to the pole, or there is, how do I put this? That crack that runs down the Atlantic right here has a lot of metal that comes up through it, right? It's almost like an iron bar with a positive at one end and a negative at the other, like a magnet bar. Another magnetic field could latch onto the bar or our pole, okay? And here we are in summer, and if said object goes by, it could do this really quick, and we would be rotating at a different angle then. So you could be, doesn't matter where you'd be somewhere different as far as orientation on the planet. Okay, you might see a shift from, I know you guys have heard about our North Pole moving pretty fast, and it is. So a magnetic, an object passing too close would latch on to the magnetic bar right here. There's a imagine a line run from this green circle down. You can't see the green circle, but run from the top down right through there. And if a passing body went by like that, it would grab it and tug the planet like this. It might spin it, it could throw it off by a degree or a lot. So important that you understand that we're going through some different times. Okay. All right, get over here. Wasting too much time. 4.5 down at 512. Mid-range 4, typical activity. 5 at the surface. In comes the pitch, and it's a 4.3 doing 249 miles an hour. No, it's a 4.3 down at 249, okay? See the ball coming into the glove? It looks like a pitch. Okay. This little island I showed you last night has 2 good vents right there pushing out a lot of SO2, so no earthquakes in this region. As we come up from our mid-range 4 deep energy, we have a mid-range 4 down at 366. Okay, that's not our surface quake relieving energy. That's another deep mid-range 4 that then produces more mid-range 4 activity on this island. Remember, we were showing you SO2 emissions out of this island as well, kind of hindering the earthquake activity. So 4.6 down at 67 there. It's not quite the surface. 4.7 at the surface here. There's a little stronger than mid-range 4 energy being scrubbed off right there. Here we have our, please, Lord. 5.8 down at 33.6. Now, 33.6 is not the surface. It's pretty close, but a 5.8. These guys, I wonder if it gives us just another NOAA 5.8 as well. Okay. Because sometimes they say something different. They make an adjustment, and we can all make our own judgment from said adjustment. Okay, get rid of that thing. Oh, well. So 5.8, pretty good size quake right there. A little jump in our magnitude, huh? Wouldn't you say? Okay, this side all quiet. Nothing along these plate boundaries, fulcrum points. Nothing at the Taiwan fulcrum point. See how quiet it is through that whole region? We have our 4.6 down at 455. This is down in this trench. Okay, this is a mountain ridge. This is another mountain ridge underwater. In between the two ridges is a valley. Down in that valley, deeper down underneath this valley, your mid-range 4 down at 455. See, we're having mid-range 4 activity deep, not the surface. Here's a 4 down at 427, another deeper quake. Come up to here. This is where we have a lot of hot water coming out of this region. 4.2 down at 50. This area is very rare, but we do have deep quakes here. 4.5 down at 192. All right. Finally, we have a fulcrum point quake. What do we do with 4.9s at this channel and why? Okay. So we have a 5 right here. Fulcrum point down at 50. 49, 4.9 at 49. Bunch of 49ers here. Now, energy can come up this way. I want to see what makes it here. 3.2 and 3. We have our little relief valve out here in the ocean. Remember, energy coming in this way, some of it's going to get scrubbed at that point. I want to bring it back over to that point. And it was bright yellow yesterday, but we still got this little release valve right here where, magma's getting released down at the ocean floor, heating water in that area. And that's what's going on. This is cold, cold water. In order for there to be a hot patch in a big old cold patch, there has to be something venting on the floor. Or the floor of the ocean is extremely, extremely hot, and it's making the water right next to it boil. If you look at how hot the water is along the Alaskan coast. Oh, by the way, the Alaskan coast, you might want to back away from the coastline if you're living in Alaska, because they have earthquakes, and Alaska has had tsunamis, and tsunamis can creep inland and do inundation as well in some of those bays. Okay, so for the people in Alaska, just there you go. You got hot water off the coast of Alaska. Go swimming. It's probably nice right now. You can probably jump in the ocean and go swim. Swimming. It'd be nicer off the coast of Alaska than it will be here off the coast of Canada. How odd is that? Like a hot tub up here in Canada, where over here you're freezing your balls off. All right, back to business. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place tonight. I've had multiple traumatic experiences. I got so many tangents going, and it's just so hard to focus. So, up here, our fulcrum point. This is kind of where I'm interested in. 4 or 5 energy here at this fulcrum point. What makes it over here is 3.5, and then we covered everywhere else, so we can go ahead and put our magnitude one day. All magnitudes for the U.S. It only works for the U.S., by the way, or I would do it all the way around the world. But so 5 energy, 3. Oh, where was this one right there? 2.7. There it is. 3.5 right up to the fulcrum point right there. Some does make it over. This little area has been its own little relief valve here. Little volcano on this peninsula here. Sitka. Oh, gosh. We're in Sitka, Alaska, guys. Sitka sits right next to the Ka. Sitka. right next to the plate boundary. Okay, so it's venting a little energy as it comes over. That's good. You know, it's nothing too big. Juan de Fuca, very, very quiet. Not even micro quaking in the Juan de Fuca. Okay, nothing at the fulcrum point, nothing inland from the fulcrum point. Okay, so we have not had any kind of energy release in this region on the Juan de Fuca in a few minutes here. Okay, and I would love to see a nice fulcrum point quake right here that would relieve energy. A good 3.5 to a 5 would free up a lot of the built up pressure in that region. Okay, we do need to have quakes in that region, just moderate ones to release energy. Okay, we don't want it to stay stagnant too long and build up too much energy, because then when it does release, it's in a larger form. You guys understand that. I don't have to spell it out for you. Okay, Glacier, Washington. We're in here in the Puget Sound. Okay, having a little activity there. It's nothing big. It's just an indication. And then over here, you guys are blowing stuff up at Port Angeles with an explosion that registered a 1.5 on the Richter scale. What are you guys blowing up? All right, Mount St. Helens still having a little microquakage. That's good, but it's also an indicator that magma on the move down below there. If we were to see a giant jump in pressure, say we got hit with another G5 storm, right? And there was a huge buildup of pressure. The Schumann shot through the roof, and we have grinding and pressure, and we have earthquakes and volcanoes starting to, jump in altitude and in magnitude. We're looking for a site where you would see a new release of energy. Mount St. Helens, potential site. That's what these little microquakes also indicate. They're relieving pressure, but they also indicate weakness in the crust. They indicate a path of least resistance, a leak in the balloon. .5 there, not too big a deal. Ooh. Yeah. Excuse me. So rude, yawning in your ear. I'm sorry, but I don't sleep much anymore. Okay, here we get into the geysers. You can tell we've had a lot of microquaking activity here, releasing a lot of energy, 1.3s and 1.4s. There's probably an occasional 2 or something in there, but a lot of microquake activity venting, pressure down below. You guys look at this. Do you guys see these mountain ridges and these lines right here? Okay, this is how the land pushes together and forms. This is pushing this way up against this, and mountain ridges, pressure ridges form like this. Okay, these are faults as well. They're not per se your typical fault that you're used to seeing, the San Andreas with a big crack in the ground, but these are these ribbons run down into the dirt, down into the crust, and they're fault lines. Okay, they're structured lines as well. You can see they kind of run parallel with the San Andreas. And then as we get into the Hayward area, we've seen this activity going in this region, but not today. Good. Actually, we had just north. Little 1.5 doesn't matter. It's good. Just a little microquaking. It's good. 1.1. Yeah, nothing too big. 3.4 down here in Indio is like our biggest quake. So now coming over here, Oklahoma, Texas, we all know what's going on there. Yeah, Oklahoma. Something we need to talk about up here by Salt Lake City. A lot of they have a little microquake activity out here. Okay. This region too is mountainous, and has the potential for fault lines, geologic structures, volcanic, hidden volcanic features that are under the crust that would be a pathway to a path of least resistance. Once it breaks through the crust, then you got a little weak zone down here in Paradise, Utah. Okay, sorry I'm jumping all over the place and yawning at the same time. Wow. Amazing, you can be physically exhausted and full of energy at the same time. The Lord is amazing. 1.3 out here in Plainville Village, Connecticut. Okay. This is different spot. We had the other spot was right out here, right off of just off of New York, right here. This is another little spot right here that's starting to show a little activity. Some microquake, nothing to freak out about, okay? But it is an indicator we got a path of least resistance here because look at our depth, 5, not 10. That's a very shallow quake. All right, so this activity. Wow. Let me take a shot of this energy drinker. Okay, back to our activity out here in Puerto Rico. We were seeing 3s. Yeah, there's still 3.5 magnitude activity potential out here because there's one right there. All right, so this area is always active. It does its little microquaking and stuff, but every once in a while, it does get a little jump in its magnitude when we get a jump in pressure. Okay, so there's your 3.5 out here. Just be aware, Haiti has been known to have big quakes, magnitude 6 and above. So that region can have a big quake. Okay, I think just real quick, South America 4.3, usually mid-range force through here. Yeah. Okay, typical activity there. What happened here at Greece? 4.8, really? Is there anything else hiding around here? 4.8 down at 59. Ooh, that's a little deeper. This isn't a boundary. This isn't energy at the surface either. This is down at 59. Something going on underneath this island, you guys, right here. Underneath the island of Greece. And they were having fires there one year so bad on the island of Greece, they ran out of water, or they ran out of, they were using casks of wine to put out fires, and then they were using blankets. And they were showing on the news that they're putting out these fires with blankets and branches. And one person commented, well, why are they doing that? I said, well, everybody knows you can't put water on a grease fire. So, everybody in Greece, you got pressure in your area, 4.8 down at 59. It's venting some kind of energy, but then again, there's something going on underneath this island here. So, I would watch out for grease fires this year. Don't put water on a grease fire. This whole structure right here is in deep trouble, and we have not seen any kind of release of activity. Etna, Stromboli still going off, I think, but Etna, any of our release valves in here aren't really going off. Oh boy, Pompeii. Some of these other volcanoes, there's extinct volcanoes that have taken out societies here before. We got to watch out for something like that happening here. Okay, a major eruption that's just going to decimate a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to tell you guys as gently as I can. Let's come on over here. I want to see what's going on here in Hawaii real quick, and then we'll move on. You guys are very patient and very tolerant, so thank you for your patience and tolerance. 2s, 2.3s. There's another 2. I want to see our Bigger stuff is 2. What was in here? 2.5s. Okay, good. Good. Nothing above a 3, but some, 2s. These aren't microquakes. These are a little bit bigger, but we're seeing, 2s, 3, well, no 3s, but mid-range 2s. Some activity going on here that's relieving some of the pressure here so we don't have another one of these fissure. That's what happened, just like at Recahenus happened here. The volcano it was plugged up, so it tore on the flank, and a big fissure ripped it open and created a curtain of fountains of lava. That's our new style. Is the skin just tears, and all of a sudden you got this long fissure that just spews lava fountains all in a big wall. And that's happened here. That's what happened here at Kilauea when it finally erupted. Okay, I think we are finally done with this earthquake report. Did I cover everything thoroughly? Any questions? We should see something out there. We need more activity through here. There is going to be some new kind of earthquake activity eventually here. And we're just going to kind of go along with what's happening so far and follow these indicators. You see how quiet this whole region is right here. All right. So the longer it stays quiet, the higher potential for a bigger quake. So the longer it goes quiet, the potential grows and grows, and so does the magnitude grows and grows, unless we get volcanoes that, we get a bunch of good blasts. All right, enough of that. Over and over, Brian. Geez, say it over and over enough times, huh? Okay, here we are at Luotobi. Okay, nice, beautiful picture of Luotobi here. I believe it's Luotobi. Yep, Luotobi. On Lucky. That island is not as lucky as they think. They got a big volcano. Imagine being on an island that's a volcano, all right, and then the main part of your island is erupting. I don't know. I would feel a little unnerved being trapped on an island. You're surrounded by water. Where you escape to? A different part of the island that's still on the volcano. So I don't know. If you live on a volcanic island, you might want to reconsider. Okay. Unless, we want to be right at ground zero. It ain't too bad either. Whoops, wrong direction. There we go. So there's your picture of Luotobi, looking kind of angry. Big old nose and grimace. All right, Ibu, 7,000 feet. Luotobi, that plume we just saw was a 10,000 to 12,000 foot altitude blast. Semeru, 15,000. That's its highest that we've seen. It used to be 14, and then it pushed a new personal record of 15. So Semeru pushing its personal best at 15. Ducono, 8,000. Popocatépetl here in central Mexico. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but they need to. Popocatépetl is a very dangerous volcano, and it's by Mexico City, which is a very highly populated city. There's so many people in danger around Popocatépetl, and we need to have better reports than this. Fuego, Novie, Sangay, 22,000 feet. All right, so let's get into the 12. What was today is now yesterday. We're just flying through these days. Take a minute here. Look at this map. Look at all the red. These are all the red currently active. The red one means interruption. All right. Minor activity is the other list. All right. Who did that? Who threw that airplane? Not funny. Yeah, it is. All right. Recahenus, currently active. Stromboli, currently active. Etna needs to be currently active. Up here on the Kamchatka Peninsula, 4 in eruption. Shivaluz, Kluchevskoy, Bizimani, and Ebeko. All 4 of those volcanoes in that region relieve pressure in that region. And when we go to our earthquakes, there's not much going on in that region. Okay. Over here we have Sakurajima, Suwanosejima, and what was this other third one? Anyways, there's 3 right there, relieving a lot of pressure all through this archipelago. All through here, that Java region, we have Luatobi, we have Merapi, Rayun, Krakatau, Dempo, Semeru, Marapi, Karensi, Ruang, Ibu. So all of those right in that area, a lot of venting there. We have currently one going off here, way down there, and then watch. See this map? It looks all pretty. Let's scooch it down one more notch, shall we? Uh-oh. What's hiding down here? A interruption, currently erupting volcano in Antarctica. Did you guys know that there's a currently erupting volcano in Antarctica? Think about that for a second. That means the pressure has reached down there, causes volcanic activity on this continent, which is covered with ice. So that could melt some ice, cause lahars and stuff around, the vicinity. So don't forget, we got all the continents. Even Antarctica has volcanic activity now. Okay. I think. Oh wait, we didn't get down to the report. Now, Reykjanes. This is the fissure with a bunch of ribbon of fire. The eruption continues from the main crater, though. Constant incandescent plastic and fresh lava clots. All right, fresh lava clot. Ibu, 16,000 feet. No, I don't want to download your thingy. I want you to get out of my report. That was 16,000 out of what? Well, whatever. Back to Luatobi, 10,000 feet. Semeru, 15. Yep, 15. Marapi, that's the other one on Sumatra. 14,000. That's a pretty good blast out of this. This is a semi-new volcano. Last year it came online. We were talking about Semeru and Merapi with an M-E, not M-A. Semeru and Merapi are on the island of Java. And then right next door on the other Sumatra is another Marapi. Okay, so they're very similar. The newer Marapi is already 14,000 foot blast. All right, so Ducono 9, Popocatépetl, here we go, 19,000. Jeez, all right. This one's been having 19, 20, 22,000 foot blasts. This is central Mexico. This is right outside of Mexico City. This thing has too big of a blast. They're going to have to, evacuate Mexico City. You know how many people live in Mexico City? You don't want to know. Go look it up and you'll be amazed. I can't even bear to tell you. Nevada del Ruiz, we need to watch this one too. No VA. That one, 22,000, 23,000 semi-active blast. Sangay, 19. Reventador at Ecuador. That's on the equator. Okay. So we have volcanic activity at the equator as well. All right. In Ecuador. 27,000 feet out of Sabancaya. These lists, I know they get boring and old. These lists should shock the hell out of you. Not out of you, but out of the world. If the world had any idea that all of this happens every day, this isn't just one day that it happened. This happens every day. I report on this stuff every day now, right? Where's the media? Huh? Oh, yeah, I got everybody looking at the political stuff. We're going to get into that too. I'm going to tell you something about this next political season. You're not going to like. Michael, all of these, Nevada Del Ruiz, sometimes jumps over here, goes active. Popocatépetl, currently active. Interruption, all right? That's outside Mexico City. Recahenas, currently erupting. Sabancaya, Sakurajima, Sangay. Because a lot of these don't make the blast report, right? So we got to remind you that Santa Guido is interruption, Samaru is interruption, Shibaluj, Stromboli, interruption, Suwanosejima, Tinakula, Villarica, Yasur, all of them are interruption. And we didn't even do the whole list. Nyiragongo, here's Merapi in Central Java. This one, intense glowing dome blocked avalanches from lava dome. Continued update. So we have a lava dome that's blocked some, or avalanches have blocked some of the lava. Here's Marapi again, Luatolo, Luatobi, Krakatau. Everybody, if you go back in history, this volcano, when it was Krakatoa, now it's the son of Krakatoa, Krakatau. It's in the Sunda Strait. It's in between Java and Sumatra. Okay, it's in that strait right there. The blast that went out of this volcano changed human history. It put us into the Dark Ages. That volcano right there changed the course of human history. All right, we need to, don't forget about it. It's currently erupting. Fuego, Fernandina, Urda Ale, Erebus, Evico, Dacono, Bizamani, all right, Barren Island. All of these can jump over there at any time. They are eruption warning. There's minor activity going on at these. All it takes is one good push of pressure from underneath, and they go into eruption phase. These ones are already weak spots in the crust, and they can hop over at any time. These new ones, Canalone, Concepcion is semi-new. Cotopaxi is erupted back in the past and stuff, but it hops on there every once in a while. Dempo is a new one. Where? On the island of Sumatra. Remember the island that's spewing a bunch of SO2 like Java is? Okay, so we got Dempo. They could hop over there. Etna. Everybody in Italy. This thing is a monster waiting to explode. The fact that it hasn't in a long time and it's puffing smoke rings warning you. One of these days, this thing is going to catch everybody off guard. It'll be a Sunday day or something. Everybody's like, oh, we saw this one. All eyes are over here looking. And that sucker is going to catch everybody off guard. I bet. Hopefully not. You guys here at this channel will be caught off guard. Other ones like this, Currency on the island of Sumatra again, all right? That island is becoming a relief valve, so watch this one possibly jump over. Klychevskoye, currently erupting. Put it over there. See, sometimes they take these off and put them over on this list to kind of make the list look a little not so long and scary. Ones like Nevada Del Ruiz that's constantly erupting. There should be over there. All right, enough. I'm going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's not sinking in. I guess I do it too often. And it just becomes so mundane and so routine. You guys aren't getting the full take heed, the sense of not foreboding, but Lord help me, please. The sense of urgency. Okay, I don't want to freak people out and trying to say it nicely. The sense of urgency. Everybody start being aware. And where is your sense of urgency? Okay, we're going to let this load up here. Take a minute here. I got to take a couple deep breaths here. It loads up. Okay. Crazy weather patterns due to our particulates in the air, added moisture in the air, evaporating off of the oceans, putting more water with more particulates, adding the potential for the air to hold more water. Say, say a gallon of air could hold a cup of water. Now a gallon of air can almost hold half a gallon of water. It's the percentages have jumped. So a mild storm like this that's just in green, doesn't look like anything, it's going to cause flash flooding because it's going to put down tons of water, way more than we're used to seeing. So even when you see severe weather and it's just raining over here, don't get caught off guard. All right. Current conditions, nighttime of the 12th. Going into tomorrow morning, the 13th. All right, everybody, the 13th. There's noon, convection up in Canada, you guys. Nighttime. Watch out, nighttime up in Canada. This tail drooping back here, a couple little pop-ups that could change real quick. So we don't have any inbound energy from a CME, but our D-layer absorption. So we could see enhancements possibly. I don't think we will. I think we're getting a little break right now. Canada's getting their turn, it looks like a little bit here. But Florida. All right, let's focus on Florida for a minute. Because I want you to just watch over this whole course of time, if you're in Florida, how long it stays under rainy conditions. Starting over with our current conditions, morning of the 13th, noon, convection, severe weather off the coast of Florida, nighttime of the 13th, the whole state of Florida pretty much. Morning of the 14th, noon, convection here the 14th now along the Atlantic coast, New York, right through there, or that's more like New Hampshire and Maine, sorry, Pennsylvania area, the convection of the 14th, even pop-ups back here in the Rockies. You can barely see them, but there's little ones in there. Then we go nighttime. So from convection the 14th into nighttime, blossoming here with a nighttime nocturnal severe weather event here, Nebraska, Kansas, even border of New Mexico, Texas, little isolated cells up here in New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts area, Connecticut. That'll be the morning of the 15th. Still severe weather, possibly in the central part of the plains there. Noontime the 15th, convection, Kansas. Nighttime, border of North Dakota, Canada. See, I'm telling you guys up in Canada now, watch out. That'll be the nighttime of the 15th, morning of the 16th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 17th. That's morning of the 17th right there, you guys. So nighttime starting to blossom at night into the morning time. See, our moist air has to travel way up here now to hit cold air. Usually it was happening down in this region, right? Because we have cold air that pushes down. Now it's starting to creep further up this way a little bit. That's the morning of the 17th, noon, convection, nighttime. Wow. Nighttime the 17th, all right? So a lot of nocturnal events. Everybody be aware, night times. All right, this big old low that drives in here and does this pinch off. It's changing a little bit here, but let's see what happens. Let me back one. So nighttime of the 17th, as we go into the morning of the 18th, severe weather up in Canada. Noontime, big time convection there. Noontime Canada. We're talking Glacier National Park, upper Montana into Canada. By the end of convection there, we'll have severe weather up there. And then what happens next? Oh, nighttime of the 18th, morning of the 19th. Watch out here, the Gulf Coast, as this moves out in the northern plains. Noontime the 19th, convection the 19th, and nighttime the 19th. Look at this thing. And down here. When we get rotation and these comma-shaped storms that usually happen here in the middle of the plains and drape down this way, when we get it shifted up here, the tail drapes down into the northern plains. Whoops. I didn't hit. I meant to hit that. So there's your nighttime 18, morning 19, noon 19, convection. See this QLCS starting to form right here off the tail of this, dripping down. That's the convection of the 19th, and then we go nighttime, and it connects up to the top right through there. That's going to be one to watch there. Okay, we're still a little ways out. That's 6 days away from right now, but everybody down in Texas, down through Mexico, they're going to see severe weather. Morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 21st, noon, convection, nighttime. You guys been watching Florida, just been covered with rain after rain after rain event as well. Here we are. The nighttime of the 21st was severe weather up here in the northern plains. I got a back one because your convection didn't really get severe at convection. It got severe at night. There's your morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime. Did you see how this low wrapped up right there and turned into a comma-shaped storm? By the nighttime of the 22nd, with severe weather coming off this tail in Wisconsin. That'll be the morning of the 23rd, noon, convection. Look at this coming into here too. Yeah, a lot of moisture coming into the Gulf region there. That'll be the convection of the 23rd, nighttime, morning of the 24th, noon, convection, nighttime. A nighttime, well, almost looks like a convection time landfall of a hurricane here on the 24th. We'll follow that as we get closer. But very severe landfall hurricane right there, nighttime of the 24th. Between convection and the nighttime, also moisture get way up here into Canada. Severe. And then you see this low rotate. Watch. It drives all of that up into severe weather in the morning hours. This is morning hour severe weather. And let's all pray for the people of Louisiana starting right about now. That'll be the noon of the 25th. Convection, nighttime, morning of the 26th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of this 27th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of 28th, noon, convection. All right, so I'm going to play this again. For you people in Florida, watch how long there's moisture over Florida. Get a little break right there, then it's right back to it again. And this is all subject to change. You know this is going to change, so the only thing that's really important, well, we kind of got to watch that further out, but the only thing we can really count on this next 48 to 72 hours about it, the only thing that's semi-reliable. So right there, that'll be tomorrow morning, noon, convection, nighttime activity pop-ups there. Florida, you're still flooding out, okay? All day tomorrow and into tomorrow night, you're still flooding out with severe weather flooding out as well, okay? Clears up by a little bit by the 14th, the morning. Well, noon, it's back. Convection, nighttime. It's the convection nighttime of the the 14th right here is another severe opportunity. The nighttime of the 14th in the middle of the country, as well as out here. And with our new player, the spheroid effect that's happening in our weather, it could happen anywhere now at any time. So we're just kind of going with what the models say, and then we'll adjust accordingly. There's another convection nighttime event, the 15th. So there's one the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. The one tomorrow, there's your convection tomorrow, mainly down here off the coast of Florida. That could change, that could shift back, it could shift further out, okay? But the nighttime, just a few pop-ups right in here. I pray it stays that way, mainly up here in Canada. Okay, but there is a chance, slight chance, the nighttime of the 13th, nighttime of the 14th, nighttime of the 15th. There's the nighttime of the 16th, just tad little bit right there. There's morning time activity right there. But then we go into the nighttime of the 17th. Nighttime of the 18th. That's the nighttime of the 19th. Nighttime of the 20th. Nighttime of the 21st. So every night we're having severe weather somewhere in the country, except for no, that's the nighttime of the 22nd. There's the nighttime of the 23rd. Nighttime of the 24th. Nighttime of the 25th. Every night, it seems we have some kind of severe weather somewhere in the country. There's the nighttime of the 26th. Nighttime of the 27th. So every night is severe weather somewhere in the country, okay? It's blossoming over the course of the day, convection. We're even getting nighttime morning convection events as well. Okay, as well as this hurricane. When this thing brings up all this moisture up into the country, you thought you saw flash flooding before. It's on then. So let me just go ahead and let that loop play for a second while I, oh boy. While I get ready for our spiritual report. Okay. Wait. What'd you say? Oh, the coastal inundation map? Yeah, we'll do that too, let me take down this. Oh, we should have kept that, but it's okay. Get rid of a lot of these. I think I had coastal inundation map. Human link forecast. Huh? Okay. On this one, coastal inundation map. There it is. All right, NOAA's tides and currents, the inundation dashboard. Okay, this is going to be important for a lot of people here in the near future. All right, and we might start doing reports on this as well. This came in handy when we had our water bulge. Okay, because that thing, when it receded, sent a crest of water, a small tsunami towards the East Coast, and we had coastal inundation. Okay, so let me get that part off. No? There we go. Yeah. Now these little pins, these are NOAA stations, okay, and they're all along the coastline here. But what I want to do here is your minor flood level inundation. All right, you click on this, and it lights up the coastline red. All right. And I don't need all the pins. So we're going to take all the pins and everything out of there for now. I just want you to see coastal inundation. And what you do is you come over here to your region. And here we have this Chesapeake Bay, very wide mouth. Any kind of sea level rise will go right up into that bay, right? And raise water levels on the shorelines on the inside of this bay, right? So, say you're in this region, well, come over here, unclick it, and you can see that that area right there would be inundated. Okay. And I'm not sure what this is minor flood level. All right, you can add the sea level rise as well. And then let's see here. You can really get a feel for how far inland you're going to see water creep if you were at high tide as well. Okay, you can add that as well. Watch. Put your sea level rise, it'll show you your high tide. Okay, but back to our flood level. This is minor flood level inundation, mind you, okay? This is like your allowable, your minor flood level inundation. Where's a good spot to target, Lord? Well, there's Norfolk and that whole area, but let's come up here to New York real quick, where there's a lot of people, all right? All of this area right through here would get flooded. All right, so if you want to see your area and you live on a coastline and you want to see how far the water would reach up, it also works on the other side of the coast over here. For you people on the coast here, if we had a tsunami come and coastal inundation would push water all the way up the Columbia River, all the way up to this region up here. Can you see that? How deep coastal inundation can reach? And it's because of the elevation levels, all right? And waterways. Water going inland, going against the current, can go inland a lot deeper. This little community here, Tillamook, see how it pushes up this bay? It gets into that region right there. So, very interesting tool. You can come around here, check out your spot. If you're, whoa. I seen some spots. Dana Point, California. You want me to pull that one up real quick? Come on down here, California. Dana Point's down south, I think it. Wait. Close to Mexico. All right. Mexico border. Let's start going up here. Now you see coastal inundation on these cliff areas doesn't go very deep inland because there's not a lot of waterways. All right, it might go up the cliff a little bit, but you know, a 10-foot rise on a 50-foot cliff is not going to do much. So the islands up the coast here, I don't think you're going to be on the map. If it's yeah, the West Coast, the inundation, the flooding doesn't go very deep inland because we got an abrupt wall that covers most of the coastline down through Southern California. And we got mountains that come right up to the coastline. There's Catalina. There's Catalina Island, and you can see that as you look around, it doesn't go very far along the coastline. It's a very thin ribbon, okay, because there's really high altitude cliffs, not high altitude, but they stick up very abruptly. This is more for very lowland, marshy areas that come right up. Okay, so Clemente. Okay, here we go. Here's Newport Beach. You can see we get some inundation in that area. And as we come up to here, here's Huntington Beach. You see inundation and go into these neighborhoods into here. Here, watch, I'll take it off. All of that neighborhood right there that's right next to that waterway would be flooded. You know, these waterways, anything, look at this, right in this area. Looks like a bunch of marshland anyways, but you can see that it does inundate into some of these areas. See this water channel, the San Gabriel River, okay? Water can go backwards up that. And it would flood the coast, the little shorelines and any low-lying areas along the way. You got to remember the water can travel underground through the dirt too. It can it can saturate the soil, and water that's in this canal can saturate the soils here and get transferred over to marshland that's, a little lower on the other side, okay? So water can travel underground through low spots. This is a little concerning here. Belmont Shore, Naples, this peninsula right here. Put it back on. So yeah, there are a few areas along this Southern California area. These harbors like this, okay, that are very, close to sea level. But it's going to be a valuable tool here in the future. So if you're in some of these low-lying areas and you're in this, these inundation maps zones, that's where you might want to consider moving. Okay, so I think that's it now. We're done with the forecast, inundation maps, and everything like that. It's a good tool to understand and use. And, look at this. Say we had a tsunami come into the Bay Area and water levels rose, right? You could go, well, all this area would be flooded. That's minor flooding. Mind you, when you do this, you see how it spreads out, from your water area out from it in all directions. Well, the deeper the water, the more it would spread out, right? So it would take up a bigger area like that. And you can see old water patterns from the past. And you should be able to notice that this whole area, California Central Valley, was a bay filled with water at one time. It's low-lying land. It has an access to the ocean right through here, so water could come rushing right through here and fill that whole area. Hint, hint. I mean, come on, let's be reasonable here. A good-sized tsunami that hit Japan, come flooding through here, filled this whole valley with 20 feet of water, and the water can't get out. It can't reach back over and go back out into the ocean. So it's going to stay in there. It's going to flood a lot of major cities. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's get on over to the spiritual report, you guys. I've made you suffer so long and hang out for so long. You're very patient. So, what do you guys want to get into? You want to see more like angels, more of the spiritual realm? Maybe we'll take you to the little history of where this all started and how it started and stuff. Maybe we'll do that. Let me get all kicked off with my channel here real quick. We're going to take you over to Nibiru and Nemesis real quick. What I was shown by God, and then had to go look it up in the archive. I mean, it happened, you know, it was a couple of days later that I finally figured out how to use the instrument to get to the image in the archive. So, we got to type that one in. So, it's a wake-up call, because it was definitely a wake-up call, and it's also your wake-up call. There it is right there. September 10th, 2017. That's 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. All right, this is showing September 6th, but the event actually takes place a couple of days later, right around here, I believe.
Boom. Here's our object right here.
It won't catch up with the thing.
And as it starts to move away, you'll see it cause a third flare. Boom. Here's our object right here. Looks like Nibiru. It's got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side. And that's...
Okay. Round, black, spheroid type object surrounded by plasma. In fact, the sun is doing a full circuit arc coming off the northern pole, reaching out. Okay. This is probably going through a magnetic field line, a boundary line, or a loop. And when it went through, its electrical magnetic field caused a discharge from the sun, almost like a giant spark that connected to this because it passed through the electrical arc area, made the connection, completed the circuit, and lit up this black spheroid object and caused the wings on it, the debris tails or whatever, to glow. And you can see this one kind of curling back right there. The one on the other side does the same. It's right in there. It's kind of washed out by the brightness of that. Can we do this, Lord? Will that help it a little bit? That does a little bit. Anyways, there's another little wing kind of pointing back here. And it's pointing back because behind that
is this big object right here. This is what's causing our flares. Here's a conduit of plasma that is sucking off of our sun, going into this planet. Here's a damage ring or an impact zone on this planet right here. You can see Nibiru sticking out in front of it here. Run this backwards. So you can see it goes backwards. There's the second flare. Got a wing coming off on this side and a wing coming off on that side.
Okay. At this point, I'm just your normal average, well, not your normal average day, Joe, but I'm going about my life just like a normal person, all right? I was more into ufology and UFOs because, well, I've been tormented by UFO activity my whole life since I was a child, very young child. About 4 years old, I saw my first daytime metallic disc at 4 years old, and I knew exactly what it was, and I knew that they were real. So a lot of my life was a ufologist, okay? So I was not a big Nibiru guy, all right? And I had seen people taking pictures of the sun and capturing a lens flare because they're taking pictures of the sun, right? Well, they think that that's Nibiru. And I'm like, no, you guys, that's an effect because of the lens. You know, the sun reflects off your lens. But no, people insist that they're capturing Nibiru and putting solar or lens flares all over YouTube as Nibiru. And I thought, well, it's not Nibiru, it's lens flare. There's no such thing. Boy, was I surprised to find out that it is such a thing. It is real. And it showed up 13 days before the Revelation 12 star alignment. For you here that read the Bible, you understand that the star alignment was a real sign. It's a real event. It took place. It's a celestial signpost as to where we are on the celestial calendar, right? That Revelation 20 star alignment should have stopped the world right there. Everybody should have slammed on the brakes and taken notice. But no, it's like, what? 2,000-year-old prophecy came true? Oh, so what? On to the next bozo. And I'm like, what happened? You guys didn't see what just happened there? Oh my goodness. Well, 13 days before that Revelation 12 sign, the dragon stood in front of the woman. In the Revelation, it makes it sound like the dragon comes after the star alignment. But when you read it again, it says, then another sign appeared. The dragon stood before or in front of the woman. This is Nibiru, the fabled winged planet, okay? Other people have called it this. Zachariah Sitchin named it that, all right? I just call it because it's your typical name that you recognize, that the public recognizes, right? And here it is with its wings. How does a planet have wings? Well, behind it is that big black hole. For lack of a better term, you guys, we're dealing with a black hole. It's not a hole in the fabric of space-time like Walt Disney and all the bozos that never took an astrophysics class try to teach you. I don't know where all these scientists come off trying to tell you that you can go through a black hole. They're effing retarded. Sorry, but they are. A black hole is a super dense spheroid. It's like an iron ball that's denser than iron. Do you think you could go through a super dense iron ball? If you're going the speed of light into a steel metal ball, do you think you could go through it? It blows my mind how way off track they have everybody thinking. A black hole is a collapsed star. It's the core of a dead star. It's so massive, it's so dense that its gravity absorbs light. Okay, it bends and absorbs light. Do you see this light? What is it doing? It is bending. How's it bending light? Where's it bending light? I don't see a bending light. Pay attention. That's light bending right there. Plasma is light. Plasma bending over this object. Why is it bending over the object? Because of the gravity and the mass of the object is causing the light to bend over it and drape over it. It paints the contour of this spherical object that's invisible, that doesn't reflect light. The only way you can see it is when these CMEs splash over them. All right, it's absorbing a lot of the energy out of the CME, but not all of it. It's not absorbing every photon. A lot of them are bending and going over. And it's painting the contour of your three-dimensional spheroid object that happens to be about 10 times the size of our sun. It's a heavyweight. It outweighs our sun. Okay? That white circle represents the size of the sun, not the black occulter. This thing is still back at a 45-degree angle, too. It's not totally perpendicular even to where we would get an even ratio. All right? So, there's your Nemesis Nibiru object. The dragon of Revelation 12 showed up 13 days before the Revelation 12 sign. Now, everybody missed this. They were all the Nibiru guys were like, oh, it's going to be right around this time. It should be here. The dragon, this, the dragon, that. Everybody looked for Nibiru. Well, it showed up. You guys just all missed it because you were looking in the wrong time frame. And when God showed me this, he was like, yeah, everyone saw the woman, but they all missed the dragon. Here, show him, Brian. And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. For hours, it took me until we finally got through a breakthrough and I was able to see the three-dimensional object. It wasn't until it was down here, compressed in this pop-up, I walked away from the computer. I was too close. I was zoomed in on it. This circle took up the whole screen, so you couldn't tell it was a circle. It wasn't until I put the cursor on this small pop-up. Now the circle is this big. Remember, it's taking up the whole screen, but it's only this big. And I could see the shape of it finally. It was in a different dimension. It's further back. That's what dimensions are. A perspective from a different distance back or distance closer. So it wasn't until I observed this in the pop-up from the perspective further back that I could see the curvature. And now I've put it at that perspective. So you can see the curvature of this. Because the original image, I can't distort it enough. Imagine if this whole circle is like right up in your face like this. You can't even see I have a hand until I pull back, right? Well, this thing was so big and in the face, you couldn't tell it was a circle until you pulled back. And that's how God showed me Nemesis and Nibiru, the dragon of Revelation 12, showing up as predicted. 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. That and the star alignment. Two wonders. There were two signs. First, the woman and a dragon, but the dragon stood before the woman. That's how it got missed, because everybody was looking for it afterwards. Okay? And this isn't a fluke. I was shown this. This was paranormal activity that I was like, never thought was possible. And then I had to reconsider because I had seen UFOs my whole life, and that's not normal. Well, it's not normal for you folks. It's normal for me. But apparently in society, not all of you see UFOs everywhere you go. They don't follow you everywhere you go every day. So it's a big deal for you. For me, it's like, UFOs, yay. But then with having to explain to people and have people go, oh, yeah, you're one of those nuts who believes in UFOs. Okay, fine. You won't understand until you see one for yourself. When you experience something for yourself, not from YouTube, not from somebody else's story, with your own experience, that's what changes you. Okay? When you see it with your own eyes, it's not somebody else's video. You are standing there with your jaw wide open going, I will never take my eyes off the sky now. So fascinated with first recognition that you, every time you're out, you're always searching the sky and scanning the sky for the next one. So that fanciful idea was possible. So when this started happening, I was like, what? How is this possible? Well, I guess so. You know, that, but why is this happening to me? All right, so that was the first step right there. Okay, this started happening to me. God showed me this thing, and he goes, that's the dragon. Warn everybody. And I'm like, what am I supposed to warn them? I had a good reputation. This thing ruined my family, my life. It ruined everything. It turned my life inside out, upside down. Still does to this day. So that was the first traumatic experience that happened to me, and I didn't know what to do, how to report it. What do you tell people? Oh yeah, there's a fucking black hole next to your sun, and your son's about to get consumed by it. Well, that's a great story. Yeah, everybody wants to hear that, and then they don't see the object. They think it's, oh, you're making it up. Or so how do you tell the world this stuff? I mean, it's just hard. So I've been in that spiritual battle ever since this day, trying to warn people about the destroyer. Nibiru, the destroyer, Nemesis, is a black hole. The reason why they never see the destroyer is because it absorbs and bends light. They always see the red dragon, Nibiru with the wings, the red dragon. That's what they see is this. They have no idea that this fucking big old thing back here, the destroyer, is a black hole. Okay, so September 10th, 2017, the day my life turned upside down, up in backward, forward, more like inside out. All right. It's more like now my heart is on my sleeve. I cannot hide this information. I have to keep reporting on it. Now, Warlord. Oh, yeah. So, you guys were hanging in there, going through the little tour with me. We did this little one really quick. Right after that, I made that video, the wake up call video. All right. That was one of my first videos. I wasn't very good at this. I was practicing doing videos. I was doing this weird thing. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was taking video of like the critters in my yard and car shows and narrating them. And I'm like, why am I doing this? This is not like me. Why am I doing these narrated videos? Well, it was training for...
The brain power you want is not in a bottle, capsule, or magic lamp.
Yeah,
it's in your brain right now.
That's your ad for you. Okay. So, oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, it's been a long day. Then we had this activity with Mary and the Angel showing up, okay? So, what happened was that the night I reported and did the wake-up call video, all right, when I finally, well... grew the balls to do it and figured out what I was going to say, and my rinky-dink way with my camera and the computer, and my first trial at this, right? Trying to tell the world the truth, the hard truth that they don't want to hear, right? And ruin my reputation, throw the whole family away, all my hard work, 17 years worth of hard work, flush it down the toilet and dedicate to the Lord. Which is, turn my life around. Anyways, after doing this video and warning the world, this event happened, okay? This took place on October 4th of 2017. That's just 11 days after the Revelation 12. So she was pregnant. She was about to give birth in the Revelation 12. She gave birth to a son, a boy, or to a son who will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. There is the son. There is the entity that will rule all the nations with an iron scepter. That's the baby. That's the Revelation 12 baby being born on October 4th, 2017 in my garage right after I grew the balls to do the wake-up call video and warn the world. Yeah, warn the world, okay? Then this took place, and I did not know this took place, okay? Something violently strange, not as in physical violent, but just so bizarre and so strange that violent is the only word I can think of to describe how violently weird it was. And then I didn't know what was happening. All right. And I went out to my garage and I was a wreck. Imagine when paranormal, you guys haven't had paranormal activity happen to you yet. Maybe some of you have. Well, you have, you're looking at it. It can be very shocking to your system, all right? Especially when it's real, okay? That's what really shocks your system is the reality, okay? And it puts you post-traumatic stress disorder on a level that's different than being, say, beat up or raped or whatever. This is something totally different. This tugs at you physically, emotionally, and spiritually, all three of them combined at the same time. When you cry, you're usually crying because you feel sad inside, or you're crying because it's an excruciating pain, or you're crying because you're bankrupt or whatever. Imagine all three of them at the same time: physical, spiritual, and emotional, all at the same time. Till all you can do is curl up into a ball. All you can do is just like the fetal position, but on my knees, and I'm crying, screaming, and praying, not sure what's going on, what's happening, why I was shown what I was shown, and why I had to throw my whole life and career and my whole everything away for it. But then it all starts to make sense here because after this event, I was a couple days later. Went through the security camera to see who broke into my garage, and I was going through the security camera and I saw this image on one of the dates, and I'm like, what? What is it? Oh, that's that night that I was out there crying, and yeah, that was weird, man. Oh, the camera captured that night that I was crying, and then I saw this, and this, and then this angel. So we're gonna play that for you, okay? I'm doing
Folks, what?
This is part of your foundation as well, okay? This helps to build your reassurance.
Welcome back. So I've been going through some of the old photos
Just gonna
and
leave
running
like
them
that.
through the filter,
Just make
and
out this
this was
angel.
one of the first
Leave it
ones that
there.
I had ever captured. And what's going on here is I'm here on my knees. I'm crying and screaming and praying, all three at once. I was in some extreme anguish. A paranormal traumatic event happened to me, something so unbelievable you guys wouldn't believe it. So if I told you, so I'm going to show you instead. So in this image here, I'm sitting here praying, and Mary's head appears right next to my head, and we're going to zoom in on this. You can't go in too tight on it, but she's looking down at my head this way. Let's see, there's pretty good. And you can make out her eye and her nose coming down, her shawl coming over, and it's in shadow right here. This is a shadow of the inside of her shawl going over her head like this. Here's her eye, her nose, her other eye would be on the other side there. Okay. You can't go in too tight on it. And then also is this white ball with an eye in it, this white orb with an eye in it. Okay, and that's not all, because over here in this corner up here is an angel. The silhouette of an angel with his wings spread, with his back to us, standing in a shaft of light. Here's his head. There's a glow over the head. The wings are extended, and there's a feather coming off. The last feather coming off is crossing over these brown roof tiles in the background here. And you can make out there's an angel right here. And you can even see his head right here.
It's a real angel, you guys.
I'm going a little bit tighter.
That's the spiritual realm. Looks odd, doesn't it?
Angel with his back to us and his wings spread.
But that's what's so real about this is it's not what you expect. It's not like your typical, your crystal clear, like human type figure standing there with wings. It's a ghostly apparition in the digital in the electromagnetic spectrum digital display of these pixels. These pixels have been arranged electromagnetically to form these angels and to form Mary. It's the spiritual realm. You're looking at the spiritual
Yeah, you
realm.
can see a lot better with the filter. Before it was really faint and it was hard to see. Same with this. This came out a little bit better here.
That's Mary. I'm in anguish. She's consoling her son. God eye, Mary, an angel. Usually where all three of those are, Jesus is there too. Okay? Jesus is in this picture if you know what to look for. And this word started. I saw this image and I'm like, whoa. I was going through some weird stuff that night and then this happened. This is an anointing. This picture is an anointing. Would you agree? Mary, God, angel, me. I saw the dragon. I saw the destroyer. I reported it to the world, which nobody else would do. Nobody else would see it. Nobody else would do it. They don't have the courage to do it. Or you would know already. But nobody has the courage to do it. So I did it. And I got anointed for it. Okay. And that was that was October 5th, 2017. So October 4th, I was born, and October 5th, I was anointed. Okay. Then I go outside, and I've shown you those stuff in the etherical right here. Let's just real quick cover this face.
Better. Zoom in. Right about there is good.
All right. See the eyes right here. There's an eye right there. There's a corresponding mouth with teeth down here. So this round face right here of this demon or principality. All right. So I'm finding all of these demons, angels, all kinds of biblical stuff on my security cameras now. Ever since that event, that night, all kinds of weird stuff starts happening. Okay. And I'm going, what's going on? You know, I'm trying to show people this and they don't believe me. And they're like, oh, come on now. Well, no, come over and take a look. Can you guys see it? Can you see the eye and the nose, the snarling nose, the mouth? It's clearly a demon right here, growling. Right? And nobody believed me because they wouldn't look. They wouldn't give me 5 minutes or entertain. Well, we can't entertain those fantasies. They're not fantasies. You're not entertaining fantasies. I'm trying to enlighten you, Doc. But nobody would listen. Then all of a sudden, one day, I've shown you some of the other paranormal activity, the Satan spitting stuff at me. All right, we don't need to get into that. But what I'm trying to tell you is, all of a sudden one day, faces started appearing in the clouds, and faces that were like appearing in the etherical were now taking shape in the clouds and follow me around. So watch this for a second.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So these faces that I've been showing you in the last few videos that are in the etherical or in that mosaic that I was talking about are not only taking place there, but now they're taking shape in our clouds. And with this new filter, I was able to go through some of these pictures and it really makes them pop now. So if you can't see it yet, there's an eye here, an eye here, here's the nose, a mouth down below, here's an ear coming back up, the jaw running down, little pointed chin. And this face seems to almost be bisected. One half is like a goblin, and this other half looks like almost like a Wolverine or a Ewok type.
A very similar theme running with a lot of these faces is the bisecting of the face. one side being evil, the other side being good, much like the duality picture that I show you, God and devil all in one, right? Much like you have the propensity for evil and the propensity for good. It just depends on which one you choose, right? So these faces start showing up in the clouds and they're looking at me and they're following me, and I'm going, whoa, what's going on? Why? Okay. If these aren't normal faces, it's not like a poofy cloud where you made a dog out of it. If that was the tail and this was the head or something, this is way different. Okay. And then let's continue on here, because
Okay. Okay, one more, and this one right here, you can make out we have an eye here and an eye right here. Here's the nose, and here's some lips, and it looks like he's blowing. You can make out his ear over here, horns and stuff coming up, his eyebrows.
do you see him blowing? Wind, blowing clouds, blowing weather. Your geoengineering that you think is being controlled spiritually. There is a spiritual aspect to your weather. Would you agree or disagree? Take a look at that picture and tell me, is there a spiritual aspect to your weather? Oh, guess Microsoft couldn't hack that one. The answer is yes. There is a spiritual factor in your weather. Okay? These faces pop up all over the place. I've posted them all over my channel. If I sat there and took pictures of every single face in the sky that follows me, I would lose my mind. I would never get anything done. I'm driving through town and I got 50 faces in the sky that are different faces, different characters, all watching me. Every single move, everywhere I go. It's it's like being a movie star when you don't want to be one, or being famous and being watched when you don't want to be famous or be watched. Yet every entity in the universe, except for humans, is watching me. And what's eerie is all the animals know too. My cat knows, our dog knows, they all sense it. And the only people that don't know are the humans. Excluding the few here at this channel. Okay? So, giant faces follow me everywhere I go. UFOs still follow me every day, everywhere I go. A lot of UFOs will travel across the sky in front of a big face in the clouds. They're trying to draw your attention. They'll go right in front of the face to get you to look at the face in the clouds. During the eclipse, there was a lion face and a UFO passed through the clouds. Everybody saw the UFO, but they did not notice it was underlining the lion face that was there in the clouds. Okay? And this activity starts following you and watching you. I mean, it makes you kind of feel a little uneasy sometimes, right? And then I got Yoda. I showed you Star Wars, right? Yoda in the clouds. It's an ascended master. If you remember what Yoda taught, what he teaches, how he speaks, he preaches peace, wisdom, not war. He's an ascended master with knowledge. And here we have
I'm going to start
Yoda
zooming in, pulling it over a little
as here.
bit. And
I'm All right, there you can see his eyes, his ears, the dome head with the wrinkles, his stubby little nose, stubby little chin. There's Yoda right there in the sky, following me, watching me, and studying every move I make. What they're doing is they're watching every spiritual achievement that I make. All right. I have a bad day, some really gnarly stuff happens to me, stuff that would pretty much shove you over the edge. I got to swallow it, try to recover my day, salvage that day. And then another thing comes and reminds me, but I salvage it again. And these characters are sitting there watching me, how I salvage day over and over, how I'll salvage somebody else's day. And they sit there and they watch as I move from person to person to person, salvaging and salvaging and salvaging. So, ascended masters like Yoda watch every single move I make, everywhere I go. Because of who I am. Now, we did the faces. Let me just kind of show you just one more thing here. Told you about the UFOs. There's also this effect.
Returns, and it's certified fresh. Are you ready?
Dragon with a mouth right matchup.
All right, these are advanced races from the past. They had the capacity to fly thousands of years ago. All right, these are artifacts that are gold trinkets that were made by the culture, the earthly culture, as reminders of a visitation they probably had, a visitation much like I had. See, there it is, the same craft in the sky, the same race, the same advanced race from the past. Okay, once you wrap your head around this is a race that existed here previous to this eon. Okay, this is an advanced race from the past that follows, watches, and studies my every move. Okay, something else I want to address right about now is this. Oh God, what's it? Carson, young black gentleman who's all over the Enki and Enlil, and trying to say that they outdate the Bible, and that that the Anunnaki are the ones that created us as a slave race. Carson, well, what's his name? You all know who I'm talking about. All right. First off, when he tries to tell you that these other civilizations right here, okay, predate the Bible. Okay, they might predate the Bible because the Bible is a collection of testimonies of followers of Christ. The Bible was not written by God. Okay, so he needs to understand that part. Okay, now something I'm really going to help you guys and help the whole world with. Enki and Enlil were thousands of years ago, okay? There are records that they existed thousands of years ago. Let me show you something. Okay, this is 1,000-year-old advanced race, okay? So they existed 1,000 years ago too, all right? I want you to wrap your head around this. The Word, not the Bible. The Word made flesh who dwelt among men, his morals, his standard, his code of peace, the Word existed trillions of eons before Enlil and Enki were a fart in their dad's butt. Do you understand me? Trillions of eons. You know what an eon is? It's an epoch. It's a whole generation, like these guys had their whole time here on Earth, that eon. trillions and trillions of eons across the universe over eternity. Outdates Enlil and Enki makes them look like little babies farting in the sandbox. Do you hear me? Any kind of that BS coming from that community is what I'm trying to warn you about right now. They're going to try to deceive you into thinking that you were created by a bunch of aliens that were so advanced that they needed a slave race to collect gold. What? If they're so advanced, dude, you can collect gold with electrolysis. Society is really that dumb to fall for that story. That was all that was another epic, another eon on the surface of this planet. They are not gods. They are fallen angels. There's only one true God. And you will know him by his character and by the way he teaches. You'll know when there's advanced races from the past that watch and follow and study him. You'll know when there's ascended masters that watch and follow and study him. Much like you guys here at YouTube, when you subscribe, you follow, right? That's following. You're watching the video, so you watch, follow, and study these images just like they do. You are watching, following, and studying me just like they are. Why? Because of who I am. Now, UFOs, Ascended Masters, all this great stuff happening, and then we get into the faces in the sky, faces in the clouds. It's an ongoing theme. All these different characters and faces and goblins. You see this god spitting lightning and stuff. Arms reaching out of the sky with a wedding ring on them. Weird formations, displays of the Capitol with water washing through the windows. Weird little pug face characters showing up. And then one day, I look up.
Here are 4 Wix Studio features you gotta know.
Yeah, dude, thanks. One day I look up and I see a face forming in the clouds over here, right? So I'm in that mode. This is back when I'm squeezing off as many pictures as I can, right? My shoulders are permanently locked up in tense knots from holding my arms up so many hours a day, and my neck kinked back looking up at the sky. I get migraine headaches from doing that 7 to 8 hours a day, right? Squeezing off pictures. Anyways, I see this face starting to form in the sky, so I bust out the camera and I start taking pictures of this face forming right here.
Howdy folks, welcome back. So I was snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds, what looked like a face over here. And I'm gonna start zooming in on this face because it's a real face. And if you look back behind it here, let's zoom in just a little bit. You'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see.
Now, this is the first time I captured Jesus in the clouds right here. All right, I'm taking pictures of this face. All right, I didn't know until I got home and I recognized this is my face. And then I start looking at it, and in the etherical, there's a crown. So my face with a crown. Why is my face with a crown showing up in the clouds? And then I look, and back behind it, it's being projected by Jesus's heart. Okay, there's one of the images that we read to right there. Then, also in this video, further back here, is this image of me taking pictures of the clouds. All right, let's just pop over to it real quick. This is an image of me holding out my arms. Okay, it's very painful for me. I have a shattered shoulder. Okay, 2 torn rotator cuffs. Broken humerus, my shoulders in so many pieces they couldn't reconstruct it, so it just kind of all floats. Anyways, it's excruciating painful to hold a camera up at a 45-degree angle, right? All the blood runs out of your arms, your heart starts to race, you get lightheaded. You can only do it for so long. I dare you to go out there and hold your arms up with a phone for 45, how long can you do it until you really get sore and your arms start to ache and your heart starts to race and you pass out from a heart attack? Okay. So it starts to copy me taking pictures. And then we have Jesus showing up here, pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart, radiating out this image in the clouds. Okay. We're just kind of going through this little history lesson for your reassurance. Okay. So you guys will feel a little bit more at ease with me. Okay. You'll understand. Just guide living life, and I had no idea all this was going to happen to me until it started happening to me. Come on, Google, what's your problem here? Then we have this happen. Okay, so one day I'm out there taking pictures and I see my face in the cloud with a crown on it. Okay, then the day before Easter, let me pull up that event as well. That one's called Happy Easter. So the day before Easter, my son captured this image because he's aware, he sees the UFOs that follow me and stuff.
And then as I pan back,
he was like, I went into the store and he captured this cloud. Oh, come on, you guys and your
Nice
ads.
open, Stipe. Where'd you get them? GovX.com.
Yeah.
behind it,
All right, you see this UFO shaped looking cloud that drops down out of the sky, perfectly round. It's got this white ring in it. All right. My son saw that and was like, oh, Dad, you're missing out. So he snapped a couple of pictures of this event. Okay. In this event was captured the dragon. There's an eye, his nostrils, his mouth open right here, horns going up. You can see the flange around the side. Let me just play this a little bit here.
I'll pull back a little bit. I'll zoom in. Can you see the dragon?
Oops. Right there's good. All right. Dragons are real. All that mythology, all that Chinese painting, all the stories, the legends, the lore, true. Because dragons are real. They do exist. They used to exist on this planet. They had their epic, their time here. All right. They still exist spiritually in the spiritual realm. And when this dragon showed up the day before Easter over this little mountain here, went into the store, came out. Well, right here, you see this mountain in the foreground? That's the same mountain where this happened the next day. So I saw the dragon show up. My son showed me that picture. I dissected it, saw the dragon, posted the video the next day on Easter, because it took me the night to process it. The next day I posted it on Easter saying Happy Easter. That's the title of that one. Then on that day, on Easter, I went back out to this mountain right here and captured this event. Okay, that's a real event. This stuff now happens over my head everywhere I go. because of who I am. Okay? I am. That's most important that you guys understand is that I am. Whether you believe it or not does not change that fact. If you don't like to accept it and you don't like it, that's your decision. It does not change the fact of everything that happened to me and who I am and why I was chosen and anointed. Okay? I was born into this. I didn't know most of my life until the revelation period started to happen that this was my destiny. And now it's grown, it's blossomed, it's turned into this beautiful channel. It's turned into this beautiful family. You guys are truly blessed, even in the replays. You see how that works? You understand that I am who I am. Wrap your head around that for your foundation, your encouragement, your joy, your peace, your strength. Okay? All of this happened to me because of who I am. All right? There was a lot of commotion back 2,000 years, okay? They wanted to know every little detail. What would be every single sign that you're back? Not that you're coming, that you are back. Well, there'll be wars and rumors of wars. Well, we got that. Every single thing has happened and is happening all around you, but it's happening physically to me. Imagine the physicality of all this happening to you while in excruciating pain is quite a different achievement of fusing pleasure with pain. So that's where we're kind of getting you to, is this new level of being able to be happy while still in adversity. The ability of being in pain, but understanding your pain now. Your pain is not useless. Your pain is building character now. Now all of a sudden it's not pain, it's a character builder. And if you learn to embrace pain and not fear it, well, then we've reached another plateau, because most people that fear dying don't actually fear the death itself. They fear the pain that might be involved in the process of dying, right? If you knew you were going to a finish line to a better place, you wouldn't fear dying. All you fear is the pain. Well, let's say you've embraced pain now and you no longer fear pain or death. Oh, that makes you powerful. That makes you almost unstoppable. The only thing you need now is Jesus, and you will be unstoppable. So that's why we're here. And you guys hung out for 3 hours for this stuff. You're amazing. Amazing. You truly want to know. Because you know why? Because I wanted it. I wanted it bad. That's why. I didn't like, oh, here, give me the ball and fumble it. No, give me the ball. I will take it. And I won't, if somebody tries to tackle me, I'm not going down. I'm taking it all the way to the end zone. Okay? We have victory already. Already have victory. So, rejoice. Relax. Watch the end of the movie. Kick back in the audience. you know how the movie's going to end. If you don't, well, the script is right out there called the scriptures. Basically, the script of the movie, your real life movie that you're a real life character in, learning real life spiritual lessons and achieving real life spiritual achievements, aren't you? Especially the people that have tried some of my techniques that have been, applying what I've been doing here with these readings, okay? These consultation sessions that we have here a little bit to bring you guys some peace and also, a little bit of joy as well and comfort, okay? We talk about a lot of disturbing stuff as if the world and the stuff that's hitting the fan isn't disturbing enough, right? And all the stuff we report on. So it's important that you take a minute and step away from all that stuff and be in the spiritual realm for a minute, okay? And, be comforted, consoled. So everybody get in your positions, get comfortable, take your deep breaths, whatever you're going to do, because here we go. I'm going to do my deep breaths here. There's a long show, so everybody relax. I know we got some anxiety, so it's important that, we console each other, right, and comfort each other. So let my consolation, my comfort, bring joy to your soul. When anxiety is welling up within you, come to me and pour out your heart. Then sit quietly in my presence while I comfort you, helping you see things from my perspective now. Okay, you want peace, you want courage, you want security, you want joy. Start to see things from my perspective. Sit quietly in my presence. I am present with you here and now, even in replay. So if I can do that even in replay, that must mean I am. So let my consolation, my comfort bring joy to your soul. When anxiety is welling up within you, come to me, pour out your heart, and sit quietly in my presence while I comfort you, helping you see things now from my perspective. I remind you of your heavenly destination. When you look at that image, that I'm reminding you, you have a heavenly destination. I remind you of your heavenly destination, for you are indeed on your way to glory. You're what? You're on your way to glory now. Ta-da! How you feeling now? I remind you of your heavenly destination. You are indeed, if you're here at this channel and you're listening and you're seeing me, you are indeed on your way to glory. I infuse my joy and my peace into your heart, mind, and soul. Again, I infuse my joy, my peace into your heart, into your mind, and I infuse my joy and peace into your soul. So when you are joyful, this changes the way you view the world around you. Even though you see much darkness, you can also see the light of my presence now, continuing to shine. Moreover, the joy in your soul gives you buoyancy. You guys feeling that buoyancy? That's why you're here. That's why you stuck it out for 3 hours, is to feel that buoyancy. I provide it. Moreover, the joy in your soul gives you buoyancy, enabling you to rise above the countless problems that are in your life. Your buoyancy enables you to rise above your problems. Once you've gained this perspective, you will discover that you can comfort others in the midst of their troubles now. They will find in you the consolation that you have found in me. Did you hear that? What are they going to find in you now? The same thing you're finding in me? You came here all this way and waited all this time for this part, and you're going to get to be able to do the same thing for others. They will find in you now the same consolation I'm doing with you. They will find in you the consolation that you have found in me. Thus, your joy now becomes contagious. Uh-oh. Did you know you're contagious? A big outbreak of joy. You better put your joy mask on and not spread this contagious infection of joy. Isn't this awesome? They will find in you the consolation you found in me, and thus your joy becomes contagious, infecting those around you with joy in their souls. How dare you go around infecting people with joy? The next outbreak is of joy. A big infection of joy in people's souls. I got another one. This deck. Oh no, this one right here. Okay, so as you look at that, I'm not doing a bunch of images. We're sticking with this one for the reading. We already did a bunch of images. So the more often you turn your thoughts to me, the more you will enjoy my perfect peace. Because the more often you turn your thoughts to me, the more often you will enjoy my perfect peace. This is a challenging goal, but it is also a glorious gift. Do you see the gift? If you see the gift, give it. Give this gift to others. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And it's free. And there's a link. You just send a link to somebody. It's easy. So the more often you turn your thoughts to me, the more you will enjoy my perfect peace. It's a challenging goal, but it's also a glorious gift, because I, the shepherd of your soul, am always accessible to you. You can now train your mind to turn from other things and focus on me. When you experience something beautiful, thank me for it. Thank me when you experience something beautiful. Acknowledge it and thank me for it. When you do that, it opens doors. It's just one simple acknowledgement and one simple thank you from a beautiful experience will open doors for you. And when a loved one brings you joy, remember that I am the source of this pleasure. So post reminders of my presence in your home or your car or your office. It's also wise to memorize scriptures. And also, turning your thoughts to me demonstrates your trust in me. Trust. Who can you trust these days? My trust is easy. I'm one you can trust, and my trust is so easy. All you have to do is turn your thoughts to me. The moment you turn your thoughts to me, you know what that does? It demonstrates your trust. See 20 people right now demonstrating trust. That's beautiful. You guys are blessed too. You see that, right? You know how blessed you are. Turning your thoughts to me demonstrates your trust. Even undesired things such as pain and problems, okay, pain and problems can be reminders to communicate with me. All right. A day full of pain has a lot of, please, Lord, help me up the steps. Please, Lord. I don't want to fall out of the car this time. I want to be able to plant my feet on the ground. Simple stuff like that for pain. Praying when you got your problems. Your pain and your problems are supposed to be reminders. And all you do is just communicate with me. You can think. You don't even have to. You turn your thoughts to me. Is it enough? Is enough. It demonstrates your trust. Vocalization demonstrates your trust. Any kind of thing that's demonstrating your trust will help with your pain and your problems, okay? Focusing on my presence protects you from getting stuck on your problems. It protects you from going over and over them in your mind without making any progress, okay? I get stuck in that myself sometimes, okay? I've been through some very, very gnarly stuff in the last few days, okay? And it's a natural flesh response. Your brain is geared to go over and over stuff in your mind because you're trying to get solutions and stuff, right? It's a carnal urge. It's a primal thing that's already encoded in your brain of going over and over and stuff and getting stuck on problems. That's why focusing on my presence protects you from getting stuck in that rut without making any progress. It's also important to be creative in finding new ways to turn your thoughts towards me. Because you got one way that works, right? And you keep referring to that one, but you got to be creative in finding new ways to turn your thoughts towards me. It can be in music, it can be in a movie, it can be in your pain, it can be in your problems, in your adversity, in your pleasure, in something beautiful you see, an answered prayer, everything. Be creative in finding new ways to turn your thoughts towards me, which is also new ways of recognizing your blessings. When you know that every breath that you take is a blessing, when every step that you take, every heartbeat is a blessing, when you see that every single little function is a blessing, you've become creative in finding new ways. So it's for your own peace of mind. Be creative in finding new ways to turn your thoughts towards me, and thus you can enjoy the wondrous gift of my peace. Okay? Peace is hard to come by these days. It's a wondrous gift. You can enjoy this wonderful gift by being creative and finding new ways. Okay, turning your thoughts, new ways of praying. It doesn't have to be all the formal thy, thou, art. No, you're talking to a person. If you don't know how to pray or talk to a person normal, like you would talk to your friend or something, go to like an AA meeting and just talk to people. Praying doesn't have to be our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's a good way to recognize, but it doesn't need all the formalities. Be creative in finding new ways, praying, receiving, turning your thoughts. There's endless ways. So have fun with it. Be creative. Find new ways. Because in me, you can discover joy that's inexpressible and full of glory. You will not find this kind of pleasure anywhere else, will you? You will not find this image me in the clouds. You will not find that image and my voice reading my message anywhere else. You will not find this kind of pleasure, comfort, joy, peace, courage, strength, any of that. You will not find it anywhere else. It is available only in your relationship with me. Do you understand? It is only available in your relationship with me. That's why all this vested time in this show that you guys are putting in is paying off, because you're getting joy that is inexpressible. How are you supposed to express to people that I found Jesus on YouTube and I'm getting joy out of this channel and I'm all this glory? So it's inexpressible. And ask yourself, well, look around YouTube. You will not find this kind of pleasure anywhere else, this peace anywhere else. It's only available to my viewers, to my followers. It's only available to the people who have a relationship with me. That's what we're doing. We're building a relationship. So trust me, beloved, and walk confidently along your life path. As we journey together, you will encounter many obstacles, some of which are quite painful. And expect these difficulties each day, and don't let them throw you off course. Okay? It sucks, but you have to expect difficulties each day. Not every day will you get them, but if you expect difficulties each day and you don't let them throw you off your course, refuse to let adversity keep you from enjoying me. In my presence, deep sorrow can coexist with even deeper joy. Did you know that? Even though you see this deep sorrow in the world, you can still coexist with an even deeper joy. It doesn't replace it. In my presence, deep sorrow can coexist. It doesn't take away the deep sorrow. You're still going to have some deep sorrow. But in my presence, your deep sorrow now can coexist with joy. Before, all you had was deep sorrow. There was no possible way joy could ever enter the room with deep sorrow. But now, in my presence, your deep sorrow can indeed coexist with even deeper joy. Yep, even deeper joy. It's because your life with me is an adventure, and there are always some dangers involved in adventurous journeys. So ask me to give you the courage so that you can face your troubles boldly. Keep your hope fully fastened on me and on the heavenly rewards that await you. Your heavenly awards. The real ones are really awaiting you. Yeah. Pretty cool. Keep your hope fully fastened on me and on the heavenly rewards that await you, and your joy will expand astronomically. It will expand beyond anything you could possibly imagine. When you reach, when your joy expands astronomically beyond what you could possibly imagine, you didn't imagine you would be meeting the Lord in the air of cyberspace on YouTube. You never imagined you'd be caught up with me in the clouds, that you'd be the one who's raptured, technically raptured, caught up with me in the clouds, meeting me in the air of cyberspace, learning and listening and enjoying my company, finding that deeper joy, that deeper peace even in your sorrow. That's what keeps your hope fully fastened on me, and you see your heavenly rewards now. Your joy does expand astronomically beyond anything you could possibly imagine now, huh? When you reach your eternal home, there you will see me face to face, and your joy will know no bounds. No bounds. I got more, but are you guys up for it? Okay, I got 10 more minutes, I guess. Ooh, we're 3.5 hours into the stream. Are you kidding me? You guys still here? That's amazing. Okay, let's wrap it up with this one real quick. Okay, when you realize something, you're gonna realize that I'm a treasure. That this right here is the best treasure you could ever find. Your treasure hunt is over. You have found the ultimate treasure, and it's me. I am your treasure. Sometimes you feel frazzled. You're pulled this way and that way by people and by circumstances. Your yearning for meaning and deep connection drives you into more and more activities. Even when your body is still, your mind tends to race, anticipating future problems and searching for solutions. Yeah, we do a lot of that, don't we? Even when your body is still, your mind tends to race. What are we doing? We're anticipating future problems, aren't we? We're freaking out and we're searching for solutions. You need to remember that all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge, okay? Knowledge is information. Wisdom is knowing what to do with that knowledge, with that information. Okay, so you need to remember that all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge are hidden in me. Remind yourself of this glorious truth frequently by whispering, Jesus, you are my treasure. In you, I am complete. When you say that and mean it, amazing things happen to you in your life. You're opening doors that you don't even have no idea the good things that are coming from that. So remind yourself of the glorious truth. This is a glorious truth. This is not Photoshop. This is not your mainstream media blowing smoke up your ass. This is the real deal. This is the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. Remind yourself that you now have the truth, this glorious truth. And when you acknowledge that, Jesus, you are my treasure, in you I am complete. When you recognize that in you I am complete, you are complete. You're completed. Do you want to be completed? Do you? Then recognize that, Jesus, you are my treasure. In you I am complete. You proclaim it. Do you want to be complete? Proclaim it. Say, in you I am complete. When you do that, you have completed. You've completed yourself. When you've acknowledged that in Jesus I am complete. So, when you prize me above all else, making me your first love, I'm a good guy. I'm your first love. You used to love me. You should still love me. When you prize me above all else, making me your first love, you are protected. You are protected from feeling fragmented. The rest of the society is going to feel this fragmentation. They are going to feel shattered and fragmented, where you will not. Because in you I am complete. When you make me your first love, it protects you from feeling fragmented. So whenever you find your thoughts straying, you can try to train your mind to return to the one who completes you. This is what gives focus to your life and helps you stay close to me. Living near me, enjoying my presence, involves seeking to obey my commands. I am telling you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. You want completeness? Proclaim it. In you I am complete. That's your proclamation. If you want it. If you want it that bad. How bad do you want it? Wait until you see the flames of hell and what you're about to escape from. You're going to want it really bad. Everybody down there is wishing they had made the right choice. And it was so easy. And it was like, what? That's what life was all about? Was that? And I missed it? Oh, dear. Well, not you guys. Because now you guys are complete. I am telling you this. I am telling you, you are complete. I am telling you this so that my joy may be in you now and that your joy may be complete. That's a long show tonight, huh? You guys are awesome. Talk about endurance. You guys are like marathon runners, man. 3.5 hours of streaming. And I'm a marathon runner too, I guess, huh? Oh, Cindy, thank you. You don't want to get the new ID? Yeah, everything is going to be forced. Don't worry about it, though. Still doesn't change this. Don't worry about the ID. All that stuff is meaningless. There is only one thing that matters now. Right here. Everything else is meaningless. You know, I had this quantum physicist. Oh, for God, you're going to tell me all about the quantum physics. Sure, I would love to, but it's meaningless. When I tell you the trillions of counts of atoms it takes to build a molecule block that weighs 0.00 thousandths of a gram, what good is that going to do you in the spiritual realm? What good is quantum physics going to do anybody when it's been a spiritual battle? What good is AI going to do you? It has no spiritual qualities whatsoever. It doesn't have any emotions. You are battling your emotions and overcoming. You are in the salvage business. There's no salvage business for AI. All that other junk is meaningless. This election, meaningless. Meaningless. Did you not all pay attention to the last election got stolen? And you think this time they're just not gonna steal it this time, huh? When they got away with it. Once they get into power, they don't want to give it up, right? They even project what they're going to do. They say, Trump will get into power and not want to leave. Well, no, that's your style. See, the criminals project exactly what they're going to do, and they accuse you of doing it, so then they can be pacified. They can be justified when they do it, okay? Don't fall for that crap. All of that stuff is meaningless. Do not let it rile you up. Okay, even if we go to nuclear war, it's meaningless. The only thing that matters are your spiritual achievements before the finish line. Okay, you are in a marathon. There is a finish line. You are a participant. You're not in the crowd on the side handing waters to the runners. You're one of the runners. You have a number on your jersey. You are a participant in this marathon. You are guaranteed victory. Just keep going. Despite anything else that goes on around you, do your best to keep your focus here. It's going to be everything trying to distract you, lie to you, tell you this, make you believe this. Billy Carson, whatever the fool is. Sorry. But do not be fooled by these people. This is a spiritual life that you live. It's not about your possessions and he who dies with the most toy wins. No, he who dies with the most toys loses. You don't want to have many spiritual, or you don't want to have many material possessions to clog up your mind. This is your victory right here. Just stay focused on this. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Practice the disciplines I've been teaching you. Recover your day, salvage your days, help others salvage their day, show them the techniques of how to salvage your day, turn it around, be that support for others that, try to reflect my light to others, okay? You are truly blessed. This is the real deal. You're here for a reason. And now you have meaning and purpose to your life. The dead in Christ have awakened. Their little lion hearts are starting to roar inside their little chests. They're awakening. That's it for tonight. I love you guys. I miss you all. Any other notes of the other things that we had? We did the recommendation map. And I did those notes. Yeah, I think we're done. I've dragged you guys so far along. Anyways, get some rest, you guys. Have a good day. Be good to each other. Pray for each other. Do not let these clowns, criminals, liars deceive you. Call them on their stuff. They are, when you call them on their stuff, there's not much they can do. So, just remember, despite anything that's going on, the real thing that matters is your spiritual achievements before reaching the finish line. We're almost there. Endurance, endure. If you're in pain, just try to keep enduring the best you can while, trying to make the most of each day and salvaging a day, helping others salvage their days. That's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. One last thing. If you see this face in the clouds, that's my face. You're caught up with me in the clouds. That means you're kind of raptured. You're caught up with me in the clouds. You met me in the air of cyberspace. We are together in the clouds at this moment. That's how it works, not the way Hollywood portrayed. Okay? You are truly blessed. I do really love you. I do really miss you. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Oh, that's what it was. There's wars and rumors of wars. You know what? There's another rumor going around. Don't spread it, but rumor is Jesus is back already in the flesh. You should have known. Couldn't you see the signs all around? Well, some can, who have eyes to see and ears to hear. And then those people know that I love them. I miss them. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. And I am still coming like a lion. I'll see you soon.